It was a tough reception for the under-23s New Zealand men's side as they travelled from across the Tasman, running into an experienced Australian team who put on a commanding performance in Game 1. With some time to rest and adjust, they will be looking to reach their potential and keep this Trans-Tasman series alive with a win tonight. Good evening, everyone. Tēnā koutou katoa, no mai haere mai. Welcome to the Australian Institute of Sport in Canberra for Game 2 of this Trans-Tasman series in the under-23s division. Sam Glazebrook, Renee Pickering to take you through this one. Renee, a new-look New Zealand side still developing combinations. They will certainly be tested again tonight.
Absolutely, Sam, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here.
So with this New Zealand side this evening, we've got Zayden Head in at goal shooter. Josh Cocker is the goal attack. Al Fox the wing attack. VJ Tiao in at centre. Jed McIntosh the wing defence. Mason Coker-Smith and Thornton Stevens Kingy is at the back for the New Zealanders. The subs today are Deshuman Karaka, Jackson Chadwick, Logan Asnick, Pierre Deha Webster. Renee, I know you were very impressed yesterday with Zayden Head. 10 caps for the Kiwis, very crafty up front.
Absolutely. Zayden was certainly the linchpin for the Kiwis, holding them together, using his creativity to create opportunities for his attackers. We're definitely expecting a bigger game from him tonight now that he's settled into the series, and definitely looking forward to seeing what Fox can produce in that wing attack bib. He was really effective when he came on in the second.
It was a 52-goal victory to the under-23s Australian side in Game 1 at 76-24. If you're the Kiwis, I'm sure there's plenty of things that you would like to focus on, but if you wanted to pinpoint one thing that will benefit them the most, where do you think we'd like to go with them tonight?
Absolutely. I think patience for the Kiwis tonight. A little bit starstruck, I think, on Wednesday night. The Aussies came out really strong with a great amount of intensity. So I'd love to see the Kiwis just going back to basics, focusing on hitting circle edge, and then opening up head right at the post.
We'll be back momentarily. We're going to hand you over now to the MC, Luke Coombe, for the introduction of both sides and the anthems.
Thank you, everyone. Both captains for the coin toss, please. It is an Australian centre pass to get us started. New Zealand first intercept.
So we had the pleasure of watching Webb play across centre and goal attack in one game. So looking forward to see what the Aussie coaches throw out there tonight.
One of the local boys, Denzel Costa, will be the Australian shooter tonight. Renee, would you like to take us through the Australian side?
Absolutely. All right, so in Australia we've got Denzel Costa, local ACT athlete, starting in goal shooter, accompanied by Will Sampson in goal attack, who had a fabulous Game 1 of the series. Jordan Webb will line up in wing attack with Callum Baird at centre, and our backline is completed with Ronan Pring, Nate Wood in goal defence, and Joe Watson in goalkeeper. So a fabulous lineup for the Aussies. Our interchange bench for tonight is Max Denham, Corey Goss, Saxon Hay, Wade Moore and Ben Ryan. And obviously our coaching group for the Aussies, Andrea McCulloch, assistant coach Kirsty Leonard-Downs, team manager Kathy McCafferty and physio Jessica Harrison.
I should have also apologised to New Zealanders. Aparai Beasley is also on the bench for them as well. Pete McKinn's their coach, Tony Archie, the assistant coach, Laura Mallon, their manager, and Sarah Kelly, their physio. If we spin it around and we look at the Aussies, with a comfortable win in Game 1, how do you remain focused and ensure that you get the job done in Game 2 and don't devolve into more scrappy netball?
Yeah, I think something that we spoke about on Wednesday night, Sam, was that the Aussies did get a little bit complacent heading into that fourth quarter. We saw some of those sharp basics start to fall away. So I'm sure they would have addressed that in training yesterday and again this morning. And I expect we're going to see a much more crisp style of play from the Aussies.
We're all set here at the Australian Institute of Sport. We're now going to hand you over to Luke Coombe, the MC, for the introduction of both teams and the anthem.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Who is ready for an eclectic night of netball? Introducing our New Zealand team first. In goal shooter we have Zayden Head. Goal attack Josh Cocker. Wing attack Al Fox. In centre VJ Tiao. Wing defence Jed McIntosh. Goal defence Mason Cooper-Smith. And in goalkeeper, Thornton Stevens Kingy. Coming on the bench, we have Ada Beasley, Logan Asing, Dujami Inkaraka, Pierre Deha Webster, and Jackson Chadwick. Coached by Peter McInnes, assistant coach Tony Archie, manager Laura Mallon, and physio Sarah Kelly. And now time for your Australian under-23s team. We have in goal shooter Denzel Costa, in goal attack Will Sampson, wing attack Jordan Webb, in centre Callum Baird, wing defence Ronan Green, goal defence Nate Wood, goalkeeper Joe Watson, and our subs are Max Denham, Corey Goss, Saxon Hain, Wade Moore, and Ben Ryan. And they're coached by Andrea McCulloch, Kirsty Leonard Downs, Kathy McCafferty, and Jessica Harrison. With our umpires as Adele Kozak, Carly Brown, and the reservist Zach Middleton. If you are willing and able to, could you please stand for the national anthems? Thank you very much, and please remain standing for the Australian National Anthem.
It's always special when international netball comes to town. Our officiating crew today, Carly Brown and Adele Kozak are the umpires. Zach Middleton, the reserve. On the benches, Raylene Turner, Katie Gibb, and Helen Arnold. We are locked and loaded here in the nation's capital for Game 2. Renee, first 5 minutes, crucial here for the Kiwis, seeing if they can keep pace with the Aussie intensity.
Absolutely, Sam. I think what we saw on Wednesday night was that the Kiwis were able to keep up for the first couple of minutes, holding a 2-2 score margin. But the Aussies just broke away, so I'm really looking forward to what the Kiwis are going to put out here tonight to try and maintain that momentum.
It is the Kelpies running to the left of your screen in the green. Denzel Costa slots the first one for the Aussies.
Nice and confident early.
Tiao with the centre.
And Webb applying some pressure.
We can already see a full court effort here from the Aussies. It does go the way of the Kiwis. They can just start turning that scoreboard over, ensuring that the Aussies don't get those back-to-back possessions. They may have some more points on the board this evening, as it is their goalkeeper, Stevens Kingy, who's still trying to work it out. Here is Tiao again, a long pass to Cocker. Great touch there by Wood, tries to keep it in. Joe Watson was out hunting. Zayden Head was free. The connection just not quite there for the Kiwis.
Ball goes out to Fox.
See the crab crawl there from Cocker. Tries to go around Joseph Watson. That's always going to be a tough ask.
Ball picked up, Wood on the run. Nice to see him out in goal defence tonight. He was stuck at the post on Wednesday.
Excellent patience from Wood. Costa's going to uncork one from mid-range. Draws the obstruction.
And Costa will take that goal, continuing his high score shooting percentage from Wednesday night. I think the entire Australian unit shot at above 85%.
A commanding performance from the Aussies. They switch the point of attack here to Webb. There is a hand, though, on a first win of the evening for Stevens Kingy. It is an advantage he will have over Costa is the height, but just like that, Nate Wood is able to get it. Incurs a stepping call. There was a bit of friendly fire there from Will Sampson.
Sampson holding the cheek. Let's hope he's okay.
McIntosh.
Really tight man-on-man defensive structure here through the midcourt.
It's like trying to navigate through quicksand for the Kiwis at the moment. Another Australian turnover. Wood's going to try and keep this in court. Not to umpire Carly Brown's liking, though.
Already a far more intense first couple of minutes of this game. Kiwis have done their homework.
Fox sending things across to Tiao, who sticks out the right mid for that one. Now the give and go. Head with the roll. Draw the contact here. This will leave Head with a one-on-one with Nate Wood. What can he do with it? Cocker's going to swing things across to the top of the circle. And Discipline just releasing the pressure for the Kiwis here. Head's about to let his first one go of the evening. That is good. It's a tough pass. He was running into a disappearing wedge there, was Josh Cocker. A long release there from Wood. Is able to find Callum Baird.
A lovely transition from the Aussies.
Just a hold there on Stevens King. It'll be interesting to see if Sampson shoots this. No, he's going to go into his shooter.
Nice safe decision. Ball in the hands of Baird.
Nice jump there from McIntosh. Just took that from Webb. Kiwis will look to punish Tiao on circle edge. Head with the give and go. Just holds things up. Excellent repositioning from the shooter.
And the Kiwis are firing early tonight.
Bit of momentum here.
Fox finding his way off that transverse line really nicely on the centre pass. He was incredibly reliable in the first game of the series. Took a lot of ball.
Aussie's playing a bit of a box set here, forcing the Kiwis back, trying to keep them off circle edge. Here is Tiao. Umpire Del Kozak saying, taken great take from Head. Tried to go over the shoulder, but to no avail. The Aussies are off to the races.
Ball into the pocket. Looks over the mess, finds Webb at the top. And a nice easy feed into Costa. He'll finish from mid-range.
Silky smooth shot.
Definitely a lovely shot technique from the ACT athlete. Something we're very proud of. And Webb, that second phase speed, very impressive.
Sampson, just a bit of miscommunication with Baird. A gift here for the Kiwis. McIntosh stuck on an island. That was about 2.5 seconds. Fox did well to ensure there was no friendly fire, but the suffocating defence forcing the long pass. Watson to work this one out again.
Head's definitely looking confident in the backspace. He's putting a hand up and saying, give me that ball, but if I were anyone feeding over Nate Wood, I would definitely think twice about placing anything behind him.
Crafty there from Jordan Webb. Knew the bump would award himself the contact. Costa only too happy to finish. 5 too early in favour of the Aussies. Fox did very well to take that in the centre third. I believe that was Ronan Pring using every part of his body to defend, including the heel. Head now with a one-on-one. Wood trying to turn him back, but the contact will bring him under the post. Sampson straight up the middle. Excellent interplay between him and Webb.
Mountain of work happening through that goal attack bib at the moment.
Beautiful triangle. It went Sampson, Baird, Costa, goal. Bouncing that ball around circle edge, turning the Kiwi defenders inside and out.
Aussie's playing a really nice wall off that centre pass at the moment. Super effective. Fox is really struggling to find his way through it.
Head.
Doesn't like it.
Cocker on the front. He's going to go over Watson. Step back. That is long.
Nice, reliable hands of Watson on that rebound.
The Aussies again with their crisp transition. Webb the give and go, circle edge. A hand from Stevens Kingy again. That's his second tip this quarter. Sampson to go over.
Nice and patient there from Baird. He had an opportunity to refeed. Stopped for just a second, waited for the defenders to move. Really clever play. Sampson into the pocket.
And they're going to get a held ball here, New Zealand. That ball was to no one. Just bounced around. TJ Tiao almost stuck for options. Here's Cocker. There's two sets of Australian hands before it eventually finds the New Zealanders.
Sampson had at least 2 intercepts on Wednesday night that he was able to pick off through the midcourt, so really great to see a defensive effort from the attackers early.
Coaches always love a full 7-man
They do.
defensive effort here. It will be Fox to throw things in. Head wants it. Ooh, Wood thought he had that one. Always tough to contest straight over the back. And the experienced campaigner of Zayden Head with 10 caps for the Kiwis heading into this series is driving that scoreboard forward at the moment. 7-4 in favour of the Aussies. There is that defensive pressure from Sampson. Him and Wood are going to play a 1-2. Webb hoists things across to Baird. Oh, they ran that to perfection. The Aussies split the Kiwi circle. Sampson untouched at the post.
Webb just finding his way through that backspace right onto the circle edge. Little ball to Costa, and he'll be comfortable from mid-range there. Beautiful shot.
Here is Tiao. Fox thought about it. He's getting up a wee bit gingerly. Looks okay.
Kiwi's doing a good job here on defense, just slowing the Aussies down.
You can hear Jordan Webb calling for it again. Wants to continue moving this ball around. It is a contact on Stevens Kingy. And a little bit of a different look here for the Aussies to start on with a moving circle as opposed to having that big tall target. But Denzel Costa very capable of directing traffic in there.
Very capable. Denzel started his shooting journey at the post. He's recently moved out into that goal attack and a little bit of wing attack in his local domestic comp. But good to see him going back to his roots. Very reliable shooter across both positions.
We'll rack the first commentator's curse up for Renee this evening as Denzel Costa misses his first one. It was an offside to Jed McIntosh, so the Aussies will get it back. Sampson on the reload. They have scored the last for the Aussies, and it has prompted a change.
And we see Deha Webster entering the court in that wing attack position. Lovely and strong there from Assink.
He's also just come on at wing defence. An excellent hold there by Zayden Head. Was able to keep Watson on his back.
Cocker doesn't like the distance. He'll refeed.
Cocker going to go over confidently here. He's able to draw an obstruction call. He'll try and navigate Watson again. He's able to work their way through, snapping that little Aussie burst. 4:30 on the clock here in the first quarter. 5 plays, 11. That speed from Sampson. It's going to be short. Who wants it? It's going to be Tiao, and he's going to win the contact for the Kiwis.
Kiwi bench loves that.
It'll be Callum who is out of play. The Aussies immediately going into their defensive set, trying to extract another turnover. And a footwork call there from Vijay Tiao. Those unforced errors, Renee, something that if New Zealand can clean up, it'll just give their game a little bit more flow.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, just a few sneaking in early here, as we did see in the first game of the series. The Kiwis were able to hold on for the first probably 7 minutes of this quarter, but they'll settle in. And another really impressive intercept attempt there from our attackers.
Logan Assink almost joining us in commentary here. Tiao straight through the middle, finds Cocker. Thought about going into Head, but he is currently in a South Australian wedge. We've got 3:14 on the clock here in the first quarter of Game 2 of the Under-23 Trans-Tasman Series. It is the Australians currently leading by 6 goals. The contact on Stevens Kingy. Costa opens up. Very, very strong work from him.
Ball back in hands of Tiao. Lovely traditional New Zealand chest pass. Flicky, touchy from low in the chest.
What a jump from Logan Assink. Plucked that one out of the air, gives them possession straight back. Ronan Pring tries to reply. You can see Head demanding possession. Eventually it gets to him. He's going to go over Nate Wood. Puts snow on it, bounces around 3 times and drops.
Head is a much shorter goal shooter than we're probably used to seeing at this international level, doing a really good job at holding on some of those very strong, very capable goal defences. Really nice to see. It's definitely a confident player that's taking control of that attacking end.
It's no mean feat trying to hold on Joe Watson, so the fact that he's able to do so while giving up a couple of inches. Tried to break out the roll there, but just a little miscommunication between himself and Deepa Webster. Here is Wood.
Aussie's doing a really good job of looking over the mess.
Excellent split circle there. You had Costa as the top option, Sampson along the goal line. .90 seconds on the clock. Oh, what a ball, Nate Wood. That was an absolute peach into Denzel Costa.
Incredible vision.
Tiao tries to reply, touches Watson's fingers. Anything you can do, I can do better. A brave pass from Tiao there.
Ball speed has just started to increase here, Sam. I think both teams know the end of this quarter is coming and is making the most of the court time at the moment. Another lovely shot from Sampson, really reliable so far.
51 seconds left in this quarter. There's probably 2 centres to go. Tiao.
Aussies really tight on their defence.
Head has to send things all the way back to Coca Smith. Tiao. Deha Webster now goes to Cocker. They're trying to manage the clock here with 29 seconds. Head, turn, fire. Cocker with the rebound. Excellent elevation from the goal attack. He will roll that one in. Opportunity here for the Aussies to test their execution. 15 seconds on the clock. Webb goes to Costa. Circle edge. Oh, they went into the same position there, Sampson and Costa. 8 seconds. Stevens, Kingy, Costa's going to have to uncork this one to beat the quarter-time buzzer. That is good. 16 plays 8. 17 plays 8 at the end of quarter one in game 2 here at the AIS Arena in Canberra. Renee, certainly a strong showing there from the Kiwis that quarter, keeping pace and some nice feeds into the circle.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see that Head has definitely adapted well to the defensive style of play. He's presenting them with more opportunities, coming straight up the guts. Lots of really good stuff happening in that attacking end, so I'm looking forward to this next quarter.
Have a very special guest joining us in commentary now. We have Kelpie Joe Miller, who's come and had a chat with us on the sideline. Joe, in Wellington, came on at halftime. What was that experience like playing international netball with the Kelpies?
Yeah, very, very special experience. Something I've been working very hard to achieve for a long time, and a really special occasion to debut my country and alongside my teammates and this team that I've admired and looked up to for a very long time. So very happy to have done that.
You've obviously come through the Netball New South Wales pathway, playing 23s, the Opens, before joining the Australian side. How has that pathway sort of helped your skill development? We see the men's game growing in leaps and bounds, and particularly one thing you hear from Suncorp Super Netball coaches that has changed with men over the last decade is that skill increase. How's that pathway helped you?
Yeah, the New South Wales pathway has been really, really great. Obviously, quite a few New South Wales boys in the Kelpies with me, and it's just been a lot of learning and some really great coaching from Nerida Stewart now and back in the day in 23s, and Moira Gaha as well. So I think the talent that we have in New South Wales, both in players and in coaching as well, is really helping to elevate our game to new heights. So really, really lucky to play for New South Wales as well.
2 commanding performances across the ditch, both wins comfortably. How do you keep your execution and your standards so high and ensure that you guys don't dip as you look to seal the deal here in Canberra tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's obviously really exciting to get the wins that we have, but I think for us it's just about looking at those little 1%ers and the ways that we can execute a full 60-minute performance. I think we're obviously executing our skills really well, but there's always things that we can work on to make sure that we're putting out our best selves and the best performance that we can.
Obviously, the Kelpies, they are the pinnacle of high performance, but one of the great things about netball is obviously its community, the people that come around it as well. Your sister obviously has been a part of the setup as well with netball. What's it been like having some experiences with her, and do you compare notes occasionally on the best mid-court craft?
We try not to compare notes, but it has been really good. I've been around netball my entire life. I'm obviously watching Annie go to some pretty exciting heights with netball. I think that's just been really handy in terms of my development, and it's always nice to chat to her after games and get her feedback, or when she thinks there might be a dodgy call against me or something like that is always good. Really good to have her support.
Joe Miller, thank you so much for joining us on commentary. We will see the Australian Kelpies take on the New Zealand Net Blacks tomorrow night here at AIS Arena in Canberra. We're about to get started with quarter 2, and there are substitutions aplenty. We will bring them to you as we see them, as Joe Miller is going to depart. Looks like the defensive pairing is going to stay. It looks like we've got Jushum and Karakat coming in at centre. Renee, I'm looking to see it. It appears an unchanged Australian lineup at this point.
Unchanged for sure.
Costa extending the range.
I think Costa and Sampson are playing some really, really smart setups at the moment. They're changing up their roles every couple of centre passes, really keeping things confusing for the Kiwis. Costa just finding that ball in the backspace on one hand.
And now giving away the offensive contact, so a chance for the Kiwis just to push a little bit of momentum here. Comparing it to last night's performance, Renee, it was a 16-goal quarter-time deficit on Wednesday night, just 9 this time. Plenty of positives for the side.
Absolutely. I think we've seen some different combinations here tonight from the Kiwis, which is quite interesting. So loving what we're seeing so far. Interesting to see if they can hold this for another 45 minutes.
Sampson wants a refeed to Webb. They're going to bounce this around circle edge to Baird. Asink hits the deck.
Costa just waiting patiently before he pops up through the middle of the circle there.
Continuing with their work. Karaka stuck for options. Pring tried to reel that one in. It bounced off about 3 players there. Wasn't sure which direction it was going. This is Deha Webster. Showing some nice patience here, the Kiwis trying to navigate this Australian defence. That's a really nice sequence there from New Zealand. Bounce the ball around, wait for the hole to open up. Pass placement superb.
Sampson, a beautiful change of direction there. Webb so fast.
There's a hand there as well from Coca Smith. Some good times coming here for New Zealand. He's got the ball now, Karaka. I don't quite know how Karaka navigated that through the forest of Australian arms, but it is with Zayden Head now. Draws the jump from Watson, high arcing shot. The tip from Cocker.
The shortest player in the circle will collect that rebound.
New Zealand's first back-to-back goals this game. Looking to make it 3 in a row here. A lovely hand.
Pringer's been such a workhorse in that wing defence position. Goes about his business, keeps his wing attack high and wide, exactly what we want to see from a wing defence.
They often get overlooked, wing defences. They deserve it. It's one of the hardest positions to play.
It absolutely is, but if you've got a solid wing defence, game changer.
Sets up intercepts like that one there for Watson. Costa on the refeed. They've raced down court, the Kelpies. The Aussies.
I'm sure many of these boys would love to be called a Kelpie, Sam.
Well, you look through the 23s pathway and the players who have come through it, and a lot of them have been seen in the Kelpie setup. Alastair Punchin, Josh Byron, Eugene Lee, Riley Richardson.
Good to see a number of these 23s athletes this year getting some time in the Kelpie squad on camp. Jordan Webb, Nate Wood, a couple of up-and-coming 23s players that we look forward to seeing in that Kelpies outfit.
Costa rolling another one in.
Ball in the hands of Karaka. He's been quite patient tonight, which is good to see. Really put on a display of his athleticism and speed in the first game. But good to see that he's taken a breath.
It was a lovely roll off the body there to get some space from Princocker with the refeed. That step back, almost Brodie Roberts-esque.
What a compliment.
And the high arcing shot to finish. Costa. Lovely triangle again. Sampson eventually passes things off. Stevens Kingy really trying to put some defensive clamps on.
Looks like we've got a couple of Aussies warming up on the bench. We might see some fresh legs rolled on soon.
Playing under new substitution rules this year, there's no need now to pretend that an ankle or a knee is hurting. Just make the symbol to the umpire at the end of a sequence scoring a goal.
What's your preference, Sam? Rolling subs or international rules?
I think I can understand why the INF did go with a pause, because not all competitions will be able to have the support that a Suncorp Super Netball does, where you can track rolling subs as accurately. I can imagine on Saturday netball with 50 courts like you see across Australia, that could make for some chaos. The one which I do really like is the ball now being out of the hand and being live, rather than having to go all the way through the ring for the goal to count. I think that's going to lead to some far more exciting finishes and shots like that from Josh Cocker. Substitutions on here. It looks like Denholm and Moore have come together.
Denholm into goal attack tonight, was incredibly reliable in that goal shooter bib, game one.
The Western Australian coming together. Looking at that first quarter, fairly accurate shooting all round. Xavier Head 6 of 7 for New Zealand. Josh Cocker 2 of 3. Denzel Costa doing the bulk of the damage for the Aussies. 12 of 13 and 5 of 6 from Will Sampson. So that's got to give the Kiwis some confidence, Renee, that when they're getting the ball into the circle, it is being scored.
Yeah, I think the focus area now is just continuing with some of this good work of hitting circle edge. Head making some really smart decisions there, just sending the ball back to the transverse line, telling his teammates to take a breath, and then just giving us some flair at the post to finish things off.
He's hung it on the rim, though.
Lovely roll.
Denha Webster swung it across to Karaka. Cocker this time is going to put it in. They're growing in confidence, this shooting pair for New Zealand.
Cocker brings that margin back to 10 goals.
Aussie's currently leading this quarter by 1.
Quick footwork by Costa. Collect Cocker Smith on the way through. Karaka just nice and patient again and off the hand of Pring.
Cocker sends things all the way back to Asink. This is Deha Webster now. Cocker. Beautiful pass there. Bisected the Australian defenders. Wanted the extra pass. Ed. Not sure his coach will want it put in such a tight position, but it gets to Cocker nonetheless. The goal is scored.
Asink doing a really fabulous job of covering Webb. Very difficult with a player of that speed.
Excellent pass from Webb. Denholm's going to uncork his first one of the evening. That is good. Aussie's currently winning this quarter by 2. We're about halfway through here. Karaka head was screaming for it, eventually bailed out by an obstruction. The dreaded step on Renee. Gravity was going to catch up with him in a moment.
You must have felt that in my body language, Sam. Definitely one of those coach killers. We step onto 1 foot and we lose control. So I'm sure Karaka would have felt that in the contest there, and I don't know if we'll see that again. Oh, Head just holds his head in his hands.
That one was a bit long. It was Wade Moore with the tip. Great take by Karaka. I'm going to say his head coach probably would have wanted that with 2 hands, but it ends up with Josh Cocker in the circle nonetheless.
And collected. Moore's on the run. He's had a really nice introduction to this game.
I'm sure one thing that head coach Andrea McCulloch will be looking for in that defensive circle, Renee, is no let up in that pressure. No time to adjust. Continued stifling defence.
They're definitely producing thus far.
Denholm with the shot. First back-to-back goals for the Aussies for a while. We were on centre for 8 centre passes there, so both sides working each other out.
Slight miscommunication there between Webb and Costa.
Aussies, you can see that sort of 3-pronged defensive pressure. They're going to try and force the long ball and allow their athleticism to shine.
Aussie sitting nice and high.
Joseph Watson at the back directing the troops.
You can see the look in Watson's eye. He's just waiting for this ball to hit the centre third. And then that long ball is his. And not to be. The Kiwis have been very clever. Kept it short down the sideline. And ball hits out of court.
Just the last pass there for the New Zealanders. They did everything right. Here is Moore. Baird.
Nice and strong through that centre position. Looks long, great vision.
Probably haven't talked enough about Callum Baird tonight, Renee. Just very quiet, unassuming, doing exactly what your centres should do. We see a huge take there from Stevens Kingy.
It's definitely the commentary of Baird in game 1. Just goes about his business, gets the job done, nothing too flashy, very reliable. Played most of the game in that centre position, which at this level, with the speed, and New Zealand rolling different centres for the full game, it was a very impressive show by Baird.
Oh, Moore thought about it. Deha Webster. I want to say was done for a step there. He tried to get that in to Zayden Head. I think Costa spun around twice there before he gave that up to Jordan Webb and got it back at the post.
Incredible finesse from the goal shooter.
See another substitution here. It looks like Coker Smith is going to come off and McIntosh is going to go back on to goal defence. The captain's band is going to be passed to Logan Asink.
I'm sure both teams will appreciate taking a breath in this moment as Asink heads back to that transverse line. Ball with the Kiwis.
This game being played at a frenetic pace. Zayden Head and Watson still exchanging pleasantries. Oh, Zayden Head put it on spin cycle. What a beautiful roll to the post.
It's definitely a textbook move from Head, something we've come to love over the last 2 games.
This is Denholm. Costa now breaking out a roll of his own. Wonder if both shooters are just eyeing each other from each end of the court and showing their skills.
Denholm almost gets a hand to that. Pring doing a really good job of keeping his wing attack nice and wide, and he'll almost take an intercept on circle edge. Kiwis come up with it. Has another crack.
It's like a human backpack at the moment, Ronan Pring. Dehar Webster having to pull every trick in the book to try and shake him. Excellent reset there by Head. Lovely high arcing shot. It's going to keep the scoreboard ticking over here for the Kiwis. They're losing this quarter by 3 at the moment. That's 8-11. That was an excellent sequence there by the Aussies. Costa ran the decoy, opened things up for Denholm at the post.
I think we'll definitely see some role switching going on between Costa and Denham. Usually they're put in opposing positions. So I think we'll see them switch it up as Denham enters. Costa will come out.
Head making use of all 3 seconds there to work Karaka to circle edge.
And collected by Watson. The Aussies are on the move.
Just a touch pass there from Denholm back to Webb. Lovely, strong take over the top. He's going to keep the scoreboard ticking over here, Max Denholm, as the Aussies crack 30 goals. Costa again, putting it in. The Aussies now starting to get that wave of momentum like they got in game 1. I just want to make sure, Renee, here, the Kiwis, that one mistake doesn't turn into 2, turn into 3.
It does tend to happen. There's a lot of voice coming from the Kiwi bench at the moment. Coach is urging her athletes to hold on, maintain their intensity and their intent. Good to see Head place another goal through.
That snapped a 3-goal Aussie run. They've just been creeping away here. 45 seconds left in the second quarter. Baird had to do well to keep that in court.
Aussies really confidently using their swing ball and finding that back space, and Costa really strong in the air.
Probably one more opportunity here for the Kiwis. 25 seconds on the clock. Karaka, Head. Are they aware of the time?
Almost a little footwork call there from Karaka, but released the ball just in time.
Zayden Head sends that one long. The Aussies have got 10 seconds to go length of the court. Heavy collision between Pring and McIntosh. They're going to just let this go. Logan Asink hoists it back into court, and that will take us to half-time here in Game 2 of the Trans-Tasman Series in the Under-23s division. It is the Australian side leading New Zealand by 32 goals to 17. We'll take a break and be right back with the second half. Welcome back to the AIS Arena. We're about to start the second half in this under-23s clash. Game 2 of the Trans-Tasman series. Looks like Saxon Hay has stepped in to the centre position for the Kelpies. His first feed is a beauty into Max Denholm. And a clean block.
Cocker Smith.
He stepped into the goalkeeper position.
Karaka just giving some early attention to Hay, just letting him know he's there. Really patient feed into Denham. Hay was certainly an incredibly exciting athlete to watch on Wednesday night. Started in the wing defence position for the Aussies. Converted a ton of ball. Good to see him moving into that centre patch.
It's like Wade Moore has stepped in to wing defence. And Nate Wood is back out at the back in goalkeeper.
Webb just dodging and weaving his way around court. Costa coming out high. And Hay finding the backspace really nicely. Lovely finish.
They've come out firing here, the Aussies. First two of the quarter. Asink.
Good to see Asink getting another nod in that wing defence position. I think he's done a fabulous job of trying to shut down Jordan Webb, which is no simple feat, but doing a really, really good job at maintaining his intensity and just disrupting some of Webb's drives.
More like a thief in the night. Took it from Deha Webster. Transition again so quick from the Aussies. And they opened up that circle beautifully.
Denham so patient.
Just rolled the shoulder so nicely to open up his position. Really presented for Jordan Webb. Coker Smith coming through just a second too slow there. And thought about going to Costa. Draws the obstruction. That's the first four for the Aussies here in the third quarter. It was an excellent second quarter for New Zealand. 16-11. Their best quarter so far this series.
And a little bit of flair from our new goal shooter. I think that might be Beasley that's joined us on court.
Certainly drew the applause from the New Zealand bench.
Denham working high. Little refeed from Hay. And a nice shot to finish. Such a tall goal attack. By the time he pops a foot back, he finds himself at short range.
We'll see how Webster letting that bounce in the centre court.
Risky business with Moore anywhere near you.
If we look back at that second quarter, Zayden Head 10 of 15. Josh Cocker 7 from 9. Some great long-range shooting for him.
A much better night, I would say, for the Kiwis than game one, which is fabulous to see.
Denzel Costa still in superb form for the Aussies. 22 from 24 in the first half at 92%. Max Denholm was 5 of 5 at halftime, has since added a couple to his tally.
Really quick ball speed there from Deha Webster. Starting to replicate some of that Aussie play, moving that ball around nicely.
Beasley tried to go up against Nate Wood. Tiao's going to let one go from range. Excellent clean-up there from Beasley, but Nate Wood, so fast from the back at that goalkeeper position, was able to turn that one over, and the Aussies are down court with Jordan Webb.
Aussies so clever with their use of ball speed and patience. Fast, fast, slow, something that we love to see, and it's really confusing, that Kiwi defensive unit.
It's like Stevens King is going to step in to goal defence. Jed McIntosh to the bench.
Webb finding his way through 3 defenders there. And a really nice, easy, touchy feed into the backspace.
That was about the very best of what a wing attack can do there. Busted through 3 defenders, 2 passes into the circle. He's been a stalwart for Queensland, Jordan Webb. Tiao trying to do the wraparound. Beasley rolls another one in for New Zealand. They're trying to hold on to the Aussies' coattails here. Still trying to split this circle. It'll be the obstruction from Asink that'll release the pressure. Costa will go over Coca Smith.
As we're talking away here, Sam, Mr. Patrick Pillier has entered the building. You would have not seen Pat on Wednesday night. He wasn't here for the first test, but he will be lining up in the Kiwi outfit at 7:30 tonight. So for those of you who are listening at the moment, stay tuned. There's some fabulous netball to come.
The mixed division has been so competitive between Australia and New Zealand over the years. New Zealand currently the Trans-Tasman title holders, actually. It was a clean sweep in 2022.
It was.
Over in New Zealand.
Aussies took a fabulous win in game 1 by about 10 goals. Unfortunately, we saw a minor injury to Carter. He had a really incredible impact in the second quarter and unfortunately had to leave the court in the third. Hopefully we'll see him back in the green and gold tonight.
Looking to secure their first series win, the Aussies, in the mixed division since 2018 back in Adelaide.
And we've seen Fox re-enter the game in that wing attack position. Some fresh legs for the Kiwis. Beautiful pass onto the baseline there. Denholm just rinsing and repeating that fabulous effort that we saw in game 1.
Karaka onto circlage. Pring was out hunting, almost thought he had it. And they've tried to wrap around it. He's eventually going to end up back in the hands of VJ Tia, who throws a bullet to Aparati Beasley.
Oh, some exceptional elevation there. Ball speed. Aussies on the run.
Denzel Costa.
The tenacity through that baseline.
So strong, so decisive.
Certainly no love lost in that circle there tonight, Sam. Lots of body-on-body defense.
One thing I really admire about Costa is his ability to just play through any contact, and his turn and release is the same almost every time. And I think that speed...
Oh, commentators getting involved in tonight's game.
First touch for Renee Pickering. That speed of his turn and release can sometimes catch defenders out. They don't have that time to set up, put pressure over ball.
He definitely has a whole heap of tools in his toolbox. So as defenders combat one thing, he's got 5 other things to throw at them. Really impressive work. Throws a hand up, demands that ball not to be.
Webb just surveying the court almost like a chessboard at wing attack.
Costa being double teamed and still manages to take that bullet straight through the middle. Wood and Moore just setting up a really nice centre pass there. Wood trying to distract the wing attack so Moore can run that sideline.
They're really firing here, the Aussies, as we're midway through the third quarter. It is 14-4 this time. You wonder, Renee, whether that sort of stronger surging performance from the Kiwis has just made the coach just say, let's come back to our basics for the Aussies, making sure that our discipline is rock solid.
Easily disappointed in himself there. Certainly has some impressive elevation. At the moment, the Kiwis are getting the ball into the circle nicely. Just unfortunately not converting once we're getting it to a shooter. Costa pushes his way through, collected by Webb. And Webb will go back to the transverse. Really nice patient play.
Costa really stretching out the range. Just creates so many problems for the defense when that shooter can turn and shoot from anywhere.
Costa tries to take that ball in one hand.
Turnover here for the Kiwis. They will come away here through Async.
Aussie comms really admirable down that back end. Lots of talking. They're communicating all the time.
Able to get one into Beasley. That does snap a little Aussie burst there. They're able to reel off 6 in a row before that next goal. Lovely front sweep there from Max Denholm. Such a luxury, Renee, for head coach of the under-23 side, Andrea McCulloch, just to be able to rotate Denzel Costa and Max Denholm and get different looks with both of them in the respective shooting positions.
Definitely. It just gives you Kiwis something else to think about in that defensive end. The more rotations the Aussies are throwing out there, the more successful they appear to be.
Thank you to Max Denholm and Denzel Costa for having a beautiful connection there, just as we're talking about them as well, to demonstrate what we were referring to. Here is Stevens Kingy. Fox, he was watched there by both Moore and Denholm, did well to draw the contact and continued to give the Kiwis possession. Here it is Karaka, Fox on the circle edge. You can see Beasley calling for it, but going over Nate Wood is no mean feat, so you wonder whether the Kiwis will try and keep swinging this ball. Here is Async again. Karaka with a triple dodge. Pring almost had it. Indeed he does.
Very impressive defensive effort from the Aussies. Costa with a lovely split. And he'll finish. His accuracy tonight has been incredibly impressive.
Starting to also get some real volume here as well, which is what you want to see from your shooter.
Definitely something that we've enjoyed from this Aussie attacking end is that shooting volume and load is shared quite evenly amongst all 4 of them. Doesn't seem to matter which shooter takes the court. We see everyone going to post.
Jordan Webb still just having a conversation with Max Denholm, just making sure that attacking end functioning exactly as they want. It was a crisp pass from Karaka. They've tried to go over there. Beasley not able to get a hold and put any pressure on Wood's body. And he was only too happy to oblige the South Australian. Costa, that is just his 3rd miss of the game, Denzel Costa. Phenomenal accuracy so far.
Karaka will look to fire a ball into the midcourt, goes back. Really nice and patient here from the Kiwis.
Stevens Kingy. It is Karaka again. And just hoists it into the middle.
He'll have that for breakfast every day of the week.
It's like he was marking an AFL ball there.
I do wonder if he's played some other sports in his time, Sam.
Nice little touch there from Async. We've got about 90 seconds left here until 3/4 time. Costa continuing to roll things over here for the Australians. As you said before, Renee, we've got the mixed again tonight at 7:30, and then tomorrow a fantastic day of netball. The 23s, the mix, and then we've got the Australian Kelpies against the New Zealand Net Blacks here at AIS Arena. And I believe it is a full house here tomorrow.
Full house, sold out game. I said last night the only way to get a ticket from here is to know a commentator. They're looking forward to seeing a bunch of local faces at AIS Arena here cheering on our Kelpies.
Ox.
Kiwis just starting to look a little bit fatigued in some of their movement patterns. to be expected when you've got the tenacious defensive structure of the Aussies.
Beasley hangs that one on the rim, draws the obstruction from Wood. Now puts one long, Pring with the tip.
Beasley doing a really good job of getting the ball at the post. Looks a bit frustrated in himself.
That will take us to three-quarter time here. 54 plays 22 in the Australian under-23s division. We've just had a contact call here from umpire Carly Brown. So Costa with a chance to bring up 55. It was a 22-5 quarter for the Aussies.
An incredible display from the Aussie team.
And just the relentlessness, Renee, from that Australians. I think particularly as well the elite conditioning which the Aussies have starting to come to the fore in that third quarter, suffocating pressure against the Kiwis.
Absolutely, and I think, look, what I'm loving to see from the Kiwis at the moment is the creativity that they're trying to bring to the game, and I think that's such a beautiful part of the Kiwi brand of netball. But what we're probably not seeing is the execution. So they're trying the right things. You can see that they've got good vision and they know where they need to place the ball. It's just not quite getting to where it needs to go, and made particularly difficult when you have such a tall, strong, athletic defensive unit like the Aussies do.
Jordan Webb in at wing attack for the Aussies has played there, I believe, all games so far, just directing traffic beautifully. Definitely.
Jordan Webb is doing his thing. He's certainly in his element tonight. On Wednesday, we saw Jordan play across the centre and goal attack positions. So good for him to show his versatility, but he looks really right at home in that wing attack bib tonight.
If you're the New Zealanders, what do you think is your primary focus for this fourth quarter to try and put together a good quarter like they had in the second?
Yeah, look, I would be considering bringing Head back on. I think he's a real linchpin in that attack end for them and certainly calms their attacking unit. But I would just be going back to basics for the Kiwis. Certainly we've seen tonight that they're not going to beat the Aussies by trying to play the ball high or force the ball speed. So I'd just be telling the Kiwi unit to slow things down, go back to basics, think about using some reset balls and really wear that defensive unit down to try and expose some opportunities at the post.
We've got some substitutions that are about to come on for New Zealand. Looks like Jackson Chadwick is going to step into the goal attack position. It will be Alistair Fox who will go in to goal shooter. Looks like we're going to see Josh Cocker step into the centre position. That will be Dehar Webster. Josh Cocker going into the goal attack position. Zayden Head going back into goal shooter as well. So we are going back to that second quarter combination, which did pay dividends for the Aussies.
Sounds like the coaching unit might have heard us talking, Sam.
If we're basing that off our opinions, then we're almost ready to get started here again for this fourth quarter. If we look ahead, Renee, to that game 2 tonight for that mixed division, obviously Patrick Pillier coming in brings an enormous dynamic change for the Kiwis. If you're the Aussies, how do you balance maintaining your structures, doing what you do, but you can't ignore the big man in the room?
I think we saw a really strong defensive game from the Aussies in the mixed division on Wednesday night. What they might need to consider is whether they need to place a little bit more height down their defensive end now that they need to try and combat what Pillier is going to bring. We know he's going to hold. He's going to sit at that post. So if I were the Aussie unit, I'd just be looking at getting a little bit creative in what they're doing out the front to try and create some opportunities for their talls in the back.
We are underway here in the final act of this Game 2 series. It looks like Goss has come on, Corey Goss in at wing attack. It also appears that Ben Ryan has come in at goal shooter. So a new goal shooter, new wing attack. Denzel Costa, Jordan Webb taking a well-deserved break. And it looks like it is going to go the way of the Aussies there. Renee, Denzel Costa, 37 from 40 at 93% tonight. A fantastic day out for the local boy.
Absolutely. I think it's difficult to criticise Denzel Costa after that performance. It was exceptional. I know I'm a little bit biased, but he's definitely put a good argument forward for MVP tonight. But we've still got 15 minutes to go. Let's see what Ryan can demonstrate at the post.
He rolls his first one in. I'm sure if we spoke to Andrea McCulloch, she'd have one or two notes, but he was looking very crisp out there as well.
Fox just finding some nice space over on the sideline there. We'll send the ball back. And we see Head out of the circle. Wanting the ball into that back space, not to be. Pring is all over it. but they'll finally find their way to the post. Welcome back to the court.
Lovely double dodge there by Zayden Head. Remained at 10 from 15 from his first half efforts.
Great to see Goss entering the court here for the Aussies. Had a fabulous game one. Bit surprised to not see him enter until the fourth, but did get a lot of court time in game one.
Ryan just stepping out of court there, so they'll be able to come away here, the Kiwis. There's Asink.
Fox on the run, demonstrating his speed and athleticism.
Cocker, head goes in. Great take.
So strong in the air.
Ronan Pring was draped all over him, and to have the strength to take that ball out in front and then score the goal. Kingy. Again, we see this twisting, turning defence from the Aussies. It's like a boa constrictor at the moment, just suffocating the Kiwis. Eventually they get things through to Cocker. Excellent discipline.
Head holds and demands that ball at the post.
This will be a well-earned goal here if Zayden Head can put this one in. It looks like a substitution here. It looks like Pierre Dihar-Webster is going to go into wing attack. VJ Tiao stepping into centre. Alistair Fox will head to the bench.
More powerful off that centre pass. Beautiful vision from Ryan into the backspace.
Dihar-Webster throws a bullet to Zayden Head, who wants the refeed there. That time Nate Wood got better positioning, and the athleticism of the South Australian doing the rest. Looks like we're going to see Callum Baird come back on at wing defence. He is currently receiving some instructions from the Aussies. What a jump from Coker Smith. Ryan puts that one long. Stevens Kingy very happy to take that one. Tiao.
Asink with the vision to post.
To cap off a brilliant sequence from the New Zealanders.
Really confident play. It's not often that you can put a ball that long and high over Nate Wood's head. Very impressive work from the Kiwis.
Bit of a shuffle here from the Aussies. Wade Moore going back to goal defence. Callum Baird into wing defence. Denholm. You can see Ryan setting up the hold. Big, strong shoulders. Just waited there for Coker Smith to come by. The patience there again from the Aussies. Third time is the charm for Ben Ryan. When we talk about that sort of high performance pathway, Renee, it's not just the physical attributes, it's also that mental game, that game sense, and particularly for shooters, learning to work the keepers over in that scenario, play a bit of cat and mouse to try and draw those contacts. Very important, something they learn at that high performance level.
Yeah, I think Amna's definitely made a lot of really great improvements to the high performance pathway, particularly over the last 2 or 3 years. And a lot of that a credit to the relationship being built with Netball Australia and the support of the Diamonds for our Kelpies program. And I think we're now seeing that start to flow down into our junior divisions as well. So these athletes are not only prepped physically, but mentally heading into a tournament like this.
We can't let that work from Logan Asink go by unnoticed. The jump, the feed, Zayden Head sealed the deal. Outstanding work from the wing defence, and Ryan bisected the two defenders. Excellent work from the shooter.
Baird claps his hands, loves to see it. One of the many successes of being a wing defence is getting your wing attack to break on a centre pass. Very clever work by him.
Goss just waiting for something to open up here. Eventually throws a tough pass to Saxon Hay.
Hay just finding himself non-ball side at the moment. I'm sure there'll be some comms between those two middies about where they want to place themselves on circle edge.
60 goals for the Aussies.
Goss finding that centre channel really nicely. Ryan will put a hand up. And a lovely finish.
Tiao.
Tiao doing a mountain of work. Unfortunately, just slips through the hands of Head. They're picked up by Nate Wood.
Well, Ryan wanted to go in at Denholm, had to just hold things up, did well not to step. And the Aussies on the march here. They've reeled off 4 straight, looking for their 5th with this centre. Excellent second phase drive from Corey Goss, just like the coach would have drawn it up. Webster.
Nothing on that transverse. They get out of jail free card. And the commentator's curse as it goes straight into the hands of the opposing wing defence. Good to see Baird collecting some defensive intercepts too, adding to some of his tallies for tonight.
Coker Smith and Denholm getting tangled up.
Hey, will that call for that ball? Setting up Ryan perfectly.
Taking the easy options, the Aussies. Working that triangle, extending their deficit. It was 52 in game 1. Won't quite be the same here in game 2 at the moment, 37. Win today will take their winning streak over the Kiwis to at least 8, going back to the 2022 Trans-Tasman Series. Last year, of course, meeting for 2 games in the Invitational Tournament in Singapore. That was a New Zealand development side. And then a sweep in 2022. Is it if a substitution is going to be made? The umpires have called time. Are we waiting for the sub?
Bit of confusion here between the athletes. Karaka enters the court at centre. Tiao takes a well-deserved break.
He's been good tonight at centre, Karaka, looking for a last 6-minute burst. Head there. They tried to go around Wade Moore, but was quick enough to get the tip.
Karaka just nice and patient.
What's that call there from Baird? Excellent vision there from Zayden Head. Got Wood in the air. Saw Cocker was available. A well-deserved New Zealand goal. When it's going your way, it's going your way. Off the post to Ben Ryan. And we'll get another go at it here as well.
Hay and Assing just battling on circle edge, trying to find that position.
Ryan again. Just watching Kingy trying to get him in the air. And that time the obstruction ball coming, didn't need it. Here is Stevens Kingy with the ball now.
Aussies absolutely flooding that centre pass defensively. Will pay dividends.
The athleticism from Wade Moore on that turnover. Ryan, he's going to uncork one from range. Trickles in.
As Head calls for an interchange. Lots of changes here coming from the Kiwis.
I believe they are just going to do a swap here in the circle. Nope, Jed McIntosh is going to come on at goal defence. Stevens King to go back to goalkeeper.
Denholm on the run. Powers a ball into Ryan. Really fabulous to see that Denholm tonight has been just as effective in goal attack as he was in goal shooter in game one.
Something, Renee, no doubt, head coach Andrea McCulloch will be happy with tonight.
Oh.
Excellent work again from Wade Moore. He's going to be done for over a third.
He laughs as he realised he might have powered that ball a little bit too far down court.
It was a fabulous effort. The Aussies scored 33 goals in the first half. They're already at 35 with 4 minutes to go. In contrast, their first game had actually kicked up a gear in the second half this time.
Yeah, I definitely think the Kiwis are getting a little bit tired, but the Aussies are continuing to apply more and more pressure. I think they're really out to impress tonight. And perhaps having the Kelpies sitting courtside there is, you know, something to play for.
Just keeping the Australian men's side honest. Who's coming for their respective spots? Denholm draws the obstruction there on McIntosh.
Moore adding to his tally for centre pass receives. It's a really familiar setup for the Aussies. And a lovely high shot.
Nice steady there from Ben Ryan. Pushed a couple long early, but has found his rhythm now.
Defensive unit screaming for hands. And it will pay off for the Aussies. Hay on the run to Denholm, straight into Ryan. And he'll finish.
Excellent work again. Ryan taking more of that front hole now, starting to grow in confidence. And now the playmaking.
We love to see a shooter-to-shooter pass.
Ben Ryan really stamping his authority on the game here in this second half.
Really nice athleticism there by Cocker.
72 goals for the Aussies at the moment. Their first game score was 76. The Kiwis have already surpassed their game one total of 24 goals as they roll in their 29th.
I think that's absolutely the takeaway from tonight, Sam, is that the Aussies have maintained their exceptional performance, but we've really seen the Kiwis improve over the series. And I'm sure for the Kiwi coaching unit, that's exactly what they want to see from their athletes.
Was a lovely double dodge there again from Ryan. Another substitution here, it looks like. Dihar Webster to the bench and Vijay Tiao to finish out the last minute 45.
Yeah, doesn't like it, but they'll play on. Karaka finds circle edge, but just disrupted there.
And it is going to go the way of the Aussies. Nate Wood only too happy to oblige.
Rewarded for his efforts. Goss coming up nice and high.
It was a tough pass. It bounced off Karaka. Lucky to get it back was Saxon Hay. A little bit of netball karma there. That ball probably should have been turned over one pass before with two Kiwi defenders. Eventually falls out of court.
Karaka firing a ball down court to Tiao. In the hands of Asink and over the top. Not to be Nate Wood. Will take that every day of the week.
So powerful in the air is the Aussie keeper. Just under a minute left here. Denholm is going to continue to play fundamental netball. Makes the extra pass to get things into run and the shot.
Great to see the Aussies staying so disciplined throughout this fourth quarter.
Would have been very easy for Denholm to just bomb that shot there, particularly with only 45 seconds left.
I think if I were an Aussie shooter, I'd be thinking about my shooting percentage at this point in the game, protecting those fabulous stats that we're seeing from our lovely statistician, Helen.
Ryan to put this one in and bring up 75, hangs it on the rim. McIntosh gets a hold of it. They've got 10 seconds to go the length of the court here, the Kiwis, and finish with a flourish. Karaka gets things off, but it's a hand from Baird. Can the Aussies score one more here and bring up 75? Ryan to let it go. It is no good. And that is full time here in Game 2 of the Trans-Tasman Series in the under-23s division. It is the Australian side taking the victory over New Zealand by 74 goals to 29. They clinch the Trans-Tasman title in the under-23s division for another year. Renee, definitely some more positive patches for New Zealand in that game, but the Aussies still at the top of the tree.
Absolutely. I think the Australian team really stamped their authority tonight, Sam. Let the New Zealanders know that they mean business and they were here to play. I think the Kiwis have a lot to take from that game and a lot to be really proud of. I think Head put on another exceptional performance, as he did in Game 1, really leading his team from the front. But the presence and the accuracy, I think, of Costa early in that game really solidified that win for the Aussies.
And at the other end, Nate Wood commanding at the back, spent most of his time in goalkeeper, and any sort of cross-channel ball was easy pickings for the goalkeeper.
For sure. Nate Wood, very impressive athlete. He got my MVP for Game 1. But tonight, my MVP, ACT local Denzel Costa.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the live stream of the Trans-Tasman Series here in 2024. That concludes our broadcast of the Under-23s division. We will bring you the Opens game at 7:30. For Renee Pickering, I'm Sam Glazebrook saying have a great night. Australian mixed team were able to snap a 4-game losing streak against the Kiwis in Game 1 on Wednesday night, a streak that dated all the way back to 2022. But in a division that has produced some of the closest netball ever between the two nations, New Zealand will certainly feel capable of squaring the Trans-Tasman Series tonight. Good evening, everyone. Tēnā koutou katoa no mai haere. Welcome to the Australian Institute of Sport in the nation's capital for Game 2 in the mixed division of the Trans-Tasman Cup. Sam Glazebrook here with the former Australian men's coach David Mills. David, the Aussies taking Game 1, they will see it as a big plus, but a massive shift in dynamics tonight.
Absolutely, Sam. Thanks for having me. And yes, the man that is the Colossus, Patrick Pillier, playing for New Zealand, brings a lot of size to the team. He'll probably start at shooter. That's what we've been told. And that could change the whole dynamic of the series. Could change it on its head.
An 8-goal win for the Aussies in Game 1, but they coughed and sputtered a little bit some inconsistent shooting. If they want to seal the deal tonight and take their first series win since 2018, they will have to be inch perfect.
Absolutely. They only shot 77%. And that changed when Lockie Carter came on. We see Lockie's got his left knee heavily strapped. Apparently he hurt it during that first test match. So just see what sort of impact he has. He's a big part to play because their shooting outside of Lockie was a little bit down. So they really need to make sure that they're getting those goals in because you think they're going to shoot pretty highly up the other end with Patrick.
2 changes for the Australian side this evening. They look like this. Christina Bryce, the goal shooter. Nathan Germack, the goal attack. Rebecca Tahani is the wing attack. Eugene Lee, the skipper, is at the controls in the centre. Emily Nesbitt, the wing defence. Jordan Vivian, the goal defence. Aaron Clayton at the back. Millsy, you were particularly impressed with Rebecca Tahani on Wednesday night. She gets the start this evening.
Absolutely came on. It just wasn't quite clicking in the offensive end for the Australians. They made the change midway through the second quarter. She came on, and boy, did it work then. She came on the same time as Lockie Carter, and it really just sort of cemented and gelled the Australian front end.
Meanwhile, if we look at the Kiwis, you mentioned the Colossus that is Pat Pillier, who will start in at goal shooter tonight. Obviously, there will be a mountain of goals scored by him, but the Kiwis, I think, will still look to play disciplined netball and work at least into the attacking third before launching it in so that they continue to get those turnovers and convert the momentum.
Yeah, for sure. They turn the ball over a fair bit against, believe it or not, the Australian zone on Wednesday night. Like, it was surprising to see the Aussies play, which Australian netball across the board is known for its tight one-on-one, but they flicked into this zone. It was a very high zone, and the Kiwis did struggle a little bit to get out of their defensive end. They turned it over. They will have addressed that, I'm sure, in the last day and a half, and hopefully that'll get it through that zone and then into their big man who probably get the goal.
Their captain, Quentin Gerber, does take a seat on the bench tonight, but plenty of options for head coach Tanya Anderson. Could drop Gerber into shooter, could put him into keeper, sort of put some pressure on the shot. We'll wait and see.
Absolutely. 2 ridiculously tall people in the team, and it's hard when they both play the same spot. Hopefully they can split them at either end, and then that would really make this test match interesting.
3 changes for the New Zealand side tonight in their starting 7. The big man, Pat Pillier, is at the front and goal shooter. Maya Hill is the wing attack. Amorani Tapau Malasala is the wing attack. Luke Hewitt, the centre. Georgia Riley Huaki is the wing defence. Hannah Riddle Pelchin is the goal defence. And Tere Tamaraki is the goalkeeper. They are coached by Tanya Anderson. Their manager is Murray Gardner. Our officiating crew this evening, Zach Middleton and Rachel Thomas, the umpires. Adele Kozak, the reserve. We are all set here, Millsy. If I were to squeeze a prediction out of you, are we heading to a series decider tomorrow evening, or do the Aussies put their hands on the trophy for the first time in 6 years?
Well, to be honest with you, if Carter was 100% fit, I'd say yes. I'd say the Aussies would definitely win. But with Carter just that little bit injured, we're not sure, because he loves a layup, so we're not sure how that knee injury is going to affect his layup. If we see him there, he's standing down the end of the court now. Seems like he is limping a little bit. I'm probably going to predict the Kiwis narrowly, and that'll make a great Saturday.
We are in for a fantastic Saturday tomorrow. The 23s, the mixed, and then we will see the Aussie Kelpies against the New Zealand Net Blacks down here in the nation's capital. A full house tomorrow. You will also see every game broadcast live here on AMNA TV as we see Lockie Carter warming up here as well. I think one thing as well, Millsy, which could be very important for the Aussies, is their ball control and treasuring possession, because we know if that turnover happens, the New Zealanders could score quickly and convert that next centre, so maybe making the extra pass in that attacking end. Absolutely.
They need to get on circle edge. There's a temptation when you've got, Christina Bryce, she's very tall as well. The temptation is just to peg it in long. They were pretty well disciplined in that area last week, on Wednesday night, so Eugene Lee was great at centre. He hit the circle edge nicely. The feeds were pretty good. I think that's probably one area where they are very good at, is just getting that ball to their shooting end.
We're going to hand you now over to MC Luke Coombe for the introduction of both sides.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are one game down, one to go. How are we feeling? Give me a bit of a cheer. Wonderful, we love it. Our second game is the mixed opens game. And for New Zealand, in goal shooter, we have Patrick Hillier. Goal attack by Hill. Wing attack among Malasala. Centre, Luke Hewitt. The wing defense, we have Georgia Riley Hockey. Goal defense, Kanaru Pelchin. Goalkeeper, Terehe Tamariki. And our substitutions are Danielle Pepper, Jordan Healy, Hessa Kalka, Quinton Gerber, and William Thornall. Coached by Tanya Anderson, manager Murray Gardner, and medical is Alicia Cholkin. And now time for your Australian team. In goal shooting we have Christina Bryce. Goal attack, Nathan German. In wing attack, Rebecca Carmody. Centre, Eugene Lee. Wing defence, Emily Nesbitt. Goal defence, Jordan Vivian. Goalkeeper, Aaron Clayton. And our substitutions are Caleb Bynum, Lachlan Carter, Ella Fitzgerald, Ben Hamer, Laura Janur, and Beth Lane. And they're coached by Tracy Jean Fraser, assistant coach Kerry-Ann Farrelly, manager Emily Fay, physio Lyndon Evans, and statistician Ian Thomas. Our umpires for this game are Zach Middleton, Rachel Thomas, and Adele Kozak as our reserve. Teams, shake hands.
We have seen some absolutely cracking games in the mixed division over the years. What type of history will both sides write into the books this evening here in Game 2 of this 2024 Trans-Tasman Series? Millsy, one other person which will be key will be Eugene Lee at the centre, using all of his Kelpies experience to control things in the middle for the Aussies.
13 tests for the Kelpies, that's a lot of experience. He comes into this game as the centre, the captain. He was great on Wednesday night. You can expect that form to continue.
It is the Aussies running to the right of your screen in the light green. They have a held ball straight away, and New Zealand are in full voice.
Exactly the same call, exactly the same umpire of the Wednesday night game. Very first play.
It was Huaki. Now we're in with Hill. You know that Clayton is going to have to do the dance around Pillier. That ball is long. Eugene Lee says thank you very much. Here is Germack. Tahani. Oh, now Vivian will argue that she got a nudge there from the goal attack. Hill, but a poor footwork call there. Excuse me, an umpire calling for poor footwork there.
Yeah, good tight start to this. Everyone's hands in, every ball contested, hands over. You can tell it's a series deciding match for someone.
Riddle Pelchin to get us underway again. There's another hand. Nesbitt and Malasala get tangled up. Both appeal to the umpire. There was no whistle. Goes into Pillier. The turn and release from Maya Hill. First one is up and down for the Kiwis.
Yes, that was all too easy, wasn't it? Like the feed, once it was in, you just knew it was going to happen. So Clayton's going to have to come. He's getting anchored and held there. That's not where he needs to be. He needs to come off the body and have a crack at a few of these.
Exactly how they will have liked it. The extra pass into the circle to Hill. Placed beautifully. The Aussie attack will be put under the microscope here. They are going to have to keep up with the Kiwis scoring this evening.
It's just the confidence that Patrick brings to any team he plays in. You can just see the whole side's lifted. There's a lot more energy than there was on Wednesday night. They look like they're here to play.
That was better execution from the Aussies. It's Eugene Lee that wears the contact. Huaki, Hewitt. You can see Clayton trying to keep Pillier high in that circle. Waiting for Hill. There's the jump. Clayton at the top, and they're going to give it an offensive contact. They're going to say he took the nudge.
Yeah, it's hard when you're that big, like just turning, you tend to nudge your defender, so they've got to be mindful of that.
Lee. Looking for options, plenty of pressure. Germack just seems to float in the air, doesn't he?
He had some ridiculous amount of height on that take.
Laws of gravity do not apply. Tahani. Oh, Riddle Pelchin was right there. Bryce is going to send things across the top of the circle for the extra pass. Really good work there from Bryce. Took the hit from Tamaraki.
So a lot of whistle in the circle. Kiwis will need to clean that up. They don't need to give Australia any second chance shots.
Germack. There is Tahani. Tamaraki hunting out of the circle. Bodied Eugene Lee and took it well.
He's a strong lad. He did a lot of that the other night as well. So that was just a loose pass there. Out in front, just a little bit too far. Couldn't be run down by Hewitt.
This is Vivian. Nesbitt with her first touch. Now goes back to Clayton. The midcourt is a hive of activity at the moment. Both sides trying to gain the ascendancy. Excellent pass there from Germack. Almost Gretel Bueto-esque with the jump and drop into Bryce.
Lovely pass. 3 straight now to the Aussies. They were 2-0 down early. Fighting back hard.
Tahani flying through. Who's going to get to it first? It is Tamaraki.
It's getting very willing, isn't it? Every ball's contested.
Both teams look like they've been shot out of a cannon to start this game.
Absolutely.
Riddle Pelchin goes, I've got a 7-footer under the post. It makes sense if I just find the target. Clayton draws the contact. Pellier puts it in, and we are all together again at 3 apiece.
One thing about Aaron Clayton, I know him fairly well, I've coached him, he will work the umpires. He will convince them that every time he's touched, he's been smashed.
Well, I imagine when you take on Pat Pellier, you are going to need every advantage you can get.
He has learnt well. So first game was 11-10 quarter, first quarter score. This game looks like it's going to be a lot more than that. So
I was going to say only 88 goals scored total in the first game, 48-40 in favour of the Aussies. You'd have to think, given the speed at which this ball is going to go into a circle, we're going to break that comfortably this evening.
You'd say so.
Tahani. And Nesbitt. Matt coming around the corner. Swings things across to Eugene Lee. They've been using Bryce to set a lot of screens at the moment. An excellent rotation from the shooter.
Just needs to be careful there, Christina Rice. She's putting her arms across and pushing off with them. Like, umpire at the moment is not seeing that, but if he gets himself in a different position, he may see that ball and then start pinging her with the offensive contact.
Ball going over Nathan Germack's dangerous. Riley Hawaki did well, but another turnover.
That's where the Kiwis just break down. Like, that was a rushed, forced pass that didn't need to happen.
Lee, Germack on the run. Riddle Pelchin around the corner, and it's going to be offside for Eugene Lee. Riley Huaki has just indicated to her bench for a substitution. You wonder whether she's got a little niggle. Hewitt.
Again, none of those turnovers. They're going to be costly. You can't keep giving the ball back to the Australians. So if they keep doing that, then the Aussies will eventually get on top. Yeah, there was a lot of changes on Wednesday night. They made heaps and heaps of changes. Actually, probably, in my opinion, too many. So I wonder if there are some injuries being carried out there.
Vivian. Germack. Lovely stop and pop from Nathan Germack.
That was a nice play. It was an easy feed in and the shot to boot.
Back-to-back goals for the Aussies. Oh, Tamaraki was quick enough to come around the corner. They swung the triangle nicely there from Tahani to Lee. Lee looking for options. Bryce is going to pump forward and uncork one from mid-range.
It's a lovely shot. They were the ones she was just a little bit rusty on Wednesday night, so she's obviously just must have been a bit of first test nerves, and now she's just popping them in from everywhere.
Hill is not wasting any time. Turn, release, bang.
It's not a bad tactic.
As long as you can put enough weight on that pass, it does mean, Millsy, that New Zealand won't get caught in the mess here in the midcourt.
Absolutely.
Tahani again. And they're going to continue here to ping Tamaraki.
Yeah, he keeps running into the screen being set by Christina Bryce there. She's doing a great job on it. Back to 3 the margin. Danger signs here for the Kiwis.
One thing we're seeing early here, Mills, different from game 1. Accuracy was an issue for the Aussies, not so here in game 2 so far.
Absolutely, they're shooting very, very well today. Look, whenever you're playing for your country, there's going to be those nerves there, and it was just, I think, just probably the first quarter and a half. A few of the players, first tests, a little bit scratchy, but they got the job done in the end.
Kermack. Here he is again. Will he let this one go? He has got some range.
Yeah, well, when you're shooting that well and the technique is beautiful, so I'd be letting him go too.
Little Pelchin. Airs things out to Hill. You can see Lee earning that double attention already. Vivian had a go at it. They make the extra pass to Hill. Billy just casually steps in like he's going for a morning stroll. Nesbitt. Germack. They're forcing a lot of cross ball here, the Kiwis. Tahani's going to have to go back.
Well, they're going back a lot, but that's where the New Zealand WA and GA aren't defending that, and they're just letting it's an easy outlet. So they're doing a good job in the front 4, but then when the pass comes back, it's just an easy outlet into that mid-third, so they can just reset and go again. The Australians, they need to put some pressure in that mid-third.
Wali Huaki sends it via express post.
Clayton there was again indicated to the referee, the umpire, that he got pushed, but no call.
Rachel Thomas, extremely experienced at this
Absolutely.
level. I don't know whether he's going to extract too many calls from her from theatrics alone.
She's seen it all.
Christina Bryce does well again on the adjustment. Germack watching Riddle Pelchin closely, eventually gets the pass and is able to spin Hewitt inside out.
Yeah, it was set up. They obviously wanted to play an overload because they all came to one side there, but they just got tunnel vision. When the goal defence was covered there, Riddle Pelchin, they didn't look for another option. They just forced the ball to her. So set moves are great when they're on.
Hands there from Hewitt, but the umpire said he was a little close.
This is a big goal coming up here. This will be margin 4. They did brilliantly there, the Kiwis.
Riddle Pelchin,
Massive turnover.
able to force that turnover. She's been doing very well at the moment at the back for the Kiwis. Here is Riley Huaki. Still bouncing this ball around on the defensive transverse. Finds Hill. Now Hewitt, a little too long. Was Pilly able to clean it up? No, says umpire.
Bounced out.
Rachel Thomas.
Oh, it's a throw-in here. I thought she'd called him for the contact, but no, it's a throw-in.
Nesbitt. Lee. Excellent adjustment there. Christina Bryce saw that Tamaraki had stepped up to stop Germack, popped out along the goal line.
She's really coming into her own here. This is probably the best I've seen her play in a long time.
Former Australian under-21 side as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was been involved in Diamonds camps before. Former Thunderbird and Giant.
Yeah, sort of starting to come into her own now. You know, it's the old theory, not everyone develops at 18, you know what I mean? So sometimes players develop later in their career, and she's a classic example.
A time has been held, not for a substitution, just to set the pass. Tamaraki to get us started again. Wale Huaki trying to direct traffic. It's going to be, I believe, Nesbitt who is the culprit.
There's a lot of standing still by the New Zealanders, waiting for the ball to come to them. And as the game progresses, you'll find the Australians will start picking that off.
It's looking like a golf ball in Patrick Pellier's hands there. You wonder as well, Dave, if you run the risk with New Zealand having such a big weapon there, you think that that's just going to happen. You still have to play netball out the front.
Absolutely, and I've had the pleasure of coaching Junior Levy a lot, with Queensland and Australian teams, and sometimes we played our best netball when he actually wasn't on the court because we actually had to play netball, whereas when Junior's out there, no matter what you say to your players, if they see it, they're going to throw it. So that can be a trap to have a real giant of a shooter can, sometimes make you play bad netball. Successful netball, just bad. So.
Lee. Going to keep swinging this around the circle edge. Gurmak again.
Beautiful triangle offense, that. That is the perfect setup. So if you're watching at home, kiddies, do that.
Lee with a nice pirouette to find Vivian Nesbitt.
Mate, the Australians are just about to crack this game open, I reckon. They're 5 up now, and Kiwis are starting to look a little tired late in this first quarter, which is scary for the match to continue.
You'd have to be happy if you're Tracy Jeans-Fraser. Obviously, the Aussies would have known that Pat Pillier's coming, and they have come out and taken this game by the scruff of the neck so far.
Yeah, they really have. Clayton's done a good job. He's just been moving. He hasn't got too much, but he's just thrown a bit of doubt into the feeders' minds.
So almost a hell ball there. They do go short to Hill. She's going to drop her first one. No. Excellent backup. That was really good heads-up play there from Hill. Knew she wasn't going to get the rebound clean. Tips it to Pillier.
Here we go with the subs coming on with 1:19 to go.
Tuaki, who has stepped off.
So Tomo's come on to the centre.
And I believe that is Talca, who has come in at wing defence. We will get clarification for you momentarily. Another goal there for the Aussies. Excuse me, it is Danny Depoff who has come in at wing defence.
Oh, that was lucky. Just a little hand in there from Nesbitt because that ball had been turned over. Have to be very mindful. They're just throwing the ball in hope, the Kiwis, into Patrick. Like, they've still got to look where his body's positioned. Like, he's holding to indicate where he wants the ball, but sometimes it's not coming. They're just thinking, oh, well, you're tall, you should get it. But if they could make it a lot easier by just throwing it to the side where his body's protecting rather than the other way.
22 seconds left. Some clock management here maybe from the Aussies. Lee, 17 seconds, finds Gurmak, swings things back to the top.
Take it now. The Kiwis will have to take the centre pass. Then they do. They've got to go quickly, and they're not.
Now Teto'o.
Oh, Tomo threw it away. It was his own centre pass.
There are 2 seconds on the clock. Will he hold it up? He is going to.
Oh, smart play.
And that is quarter time. 16 plays 11 in favour of the Australian side. An outstanding first quarter, Millsy. Far better than their effort in game one.
Well, absolutely. Both teams actually played better than that first quarter in game one. 16-11, a lot more goals being scored. I think the Australians have looked very solid in that offensive end. Christina Bryce moving beautifully. She's been mixing up between setting the screens for Nathan Zermak or herself just popping out, and they've been finding her easy. She hasn't taken any shots she shouldn't. She's kicked it to the top of the circle, formed the triangle beautifully. It's hard to find fault with what's going on in the front end of the Australians. Defensively, they're doing their best. Yep, they've got a great unit in there. Like I said in the commentary, Clayton hasn't actually got it much, but he's just throwing the doubt. I think you call it nearly a hell ball. That's because of the work that Clayton's doing, just turning. It's to be honest with you, it's ineffectual from a defensive point of view, but it's just throwing so much doubt into the mind. It's exactly what the coach would have asked.
Almost defending the mid-quarter rather than defending the shooter and trying to put that in.
Absolutely.
If you're the Kiwis, they're not miles away from starting to string things together. What adjustments do you make if you are Tanya Anderson?
Well, the problem they're having is through the middle there. They're standing still waiting for the ball, and you see the likes of Nesbitt's coming through, Vivian's coming through. They're not getting them at the moment. They're getting hands in. There's a few loose balls, and the Kiwis seem to be second to the ball a lot of the time. They need to just improve in that mid-third. That's where it's just they're getting the ball. If they get the ball at the turnover, they get it to the middle third, and then it breaks down. They're caught between the let's look long as soon as we get it, or let's work it into a better position, and that's where it's coming unstuck. You can almost see, because we're at court level, we can see them looking and then linking up with Patrick, and it's going no matter what. So, and that's what I said to you. You've got to be a little bit more particular on your pass. You can't just throw it up in hope. You've got to make sure that where he wants it, it's on. If it's not on, then you move it around.
Speaking of crisp offensive work for the Aussies, a perfect 16 from 16 at 100% in quarter number 1. 11 from 13 for the Kiwis at 85%. So both sides, as you said, Millsy, stepping up their effort from the first game. Going forward here now, this is always going to be a little bit of a chess match from both sides. If you're Tracy Jeans-Fraser and the Kiwis do start to maybe surge here in the second quarter, what options do you have up your sleeve?
Well, you got plenty. You know, I thought one of the best players on the first test was Ben Hamer. How he would go with Patrick Pillier, I'm not sure, but they know each other pretty well. They both play for New South Wales. They're both in the same team that won national championships the last 2 years. So you think if anyone knows Patrick, it'll be Ben. You got that option. You got Lockie Carter. He's 6'5", I think 205 centimetres or something. And so he'd be able to, you know, maybe not get a lot in the air, but it's again throw that down on the pass. And all of a sudden Patrick might have to do too much. Might give away an offensive foul, like he's given one away on Clayton. That might happen more and more as, you know, if he's not getting an easy feed, he might try and do too much, for want of a better term.
Appears that we have an unchanged New Zealand outfit to start the second quarter. The Aussies also not bringing any changes just yet. It is Te To'o to get us started here in quarter number 2. Tamaraki.
So this is where they're breaking down a little bit in there, right in that middle third.
Sit there, and you just know that if they can get it to that attacking transverse line, then they can start to shell the goal shooter in Patrick Pillier. But the Aussies doing everything to force them back.
Oh, absolutely. The defence in the mid-third here from Australia is incredible. So every pass is being challenged. There's no easy outlets for the Kiwis at all.
So contact caught here against Tamaraki. Be interesting to see if Germack shoots this or whether he's going to try and wrap this ball around. He is.
Nice little left-handed dish there.
Bryce hangs her first one on the rim this quarter. There's a foot race. Germack's going to get to it first.
Yeah, Tamaraki's starting to worry about the umpires, worry about other things. He needs to just focus on the game here.
He's had a couple of wins, Tamaraki, but discipline has let him down at times.
So not the start New Zealand wanted. First centre pass, they don't score off it.
You might be hearing Tanya Anderson screaming for pressure here from her side. They do have to send things back to the transverse line. Te Tomo going to do some defending. Very athletic is William Te Tomo, but he'll have his hands full trying to shut down Eugene Lee with all his experience and skill. They're trying to make the triangle go. Tamaraki with the contact call.
Yeah, it's just those little things like there was no need to go for that. Now he's going to give Christina Bryce an easy shot, you know. So you've got to play smart. You've got to, go for the balls you've got a 50-50 chance of getting.
And particularly watching between the men's and mixed style mills, it is much more of a chess match in mixed netball. A lot more thinking game. It's not sort of a physical free-for-all like you do see in our 23s, for example. A lot of young guns in there. A lot more of a thinking game.
Well, now that I'm a mixed coach, yeah, it's absolutely. it's the most thinking game in the world. Look, because of the two genders, you can create mismatches, and that's when things can happen. Like at the moment, we've got a mismatch. By mismatch, I mean we've got a female shooter on a male keeper. Like, is that beneficial for Australia or beneficial for New Zealand? You know, I'd say at the moment Australia getting the points there. So are they better off the Kiwis, playing male on male and see if they can slow down Germack? I'm not sure it'll work.
So Tahani being done for an intentional obstruction. So that's going to be brought up all the way to the circle edge. A quick hook there from the umpire to say we're going to tidy this up. It's going to go into Pillier.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's how they've been playing for the entire match. So it's a good tactic. It's working. It's slowing them down. So, yeah, I don't think Tani is going to change at all.
She gets that warning she may have to or risk sitting down for 2 minutes. So we'll see how we adjust. What a stop from Eugene Lee.
That was going out for all money, but until Eugene got in the way, that was brilliant.
Whew. The elevation from Nathan Germack. He's going to hang that on the rim, though. Depov is going to take it away. A chance here for the Kiwis to grab a little bit of momentum.
A couple of missed shots for the Aussies, but the Kiwis haven't taken advantage. The margin's actually increased a little bit here.
It's going to be a contact, it looks like, on Emily Nesbitt. You can see Vivian trying to confuse the space. They go across to Te To'o.
Looks like Vivian's going to get spoken to here.
Excellent drop-off pass. That's a different shoulder there. That's just sheer size.
Two things you can't coach, and one of them is height. The other is speed.
Back-to-back goals here. It's Tetomo who will continue. This was always going to be the danger for the Australians, is that if the Kiwis can string together a couple of good minutes, they will be able to score in bunches. This deficit back to 4. And you can just hear the noise from the New Zealand bench go up a gear.
Well, they're in it now, aren't they? Like they look like they were just drifting away from them. They fought back really well here. If they could get a turnover here, the place will go nuts. That was close to a hell ball.
Imploring the umpire for a hell ball. They actually played a switch now with Tamaraki going out to Gurmak, and Riddle Pelchin is going to stay on Bryce. But this will allow Gurmak to exercise some of his speed. The front cut.
Well, that's what we were talking about just before, like the mismatch. Like, are the Kiwis better off changing it to put a male on the male in that offensive end? Or their defensive end, I should say.
They'll have a job busting through that Australian wall as well. Tetomo, Hill. It's all too easy at the moment. Now they're starting to get some flow, the New Zealanders.
They are indeed. I just see the Australian bench all warming up, but they're all warming up, so I don't think they're going to make 5 changes. But I reckon Carter just in there, just for a little burst, just see how his knee's doing.
Tamaraki, that's going to be long. He did everything right there, Tamaraki, except the landing. And it is a hell ball, no goal. Bryce was waiting for the contact, none came.
Well, Tamaraki played smart there. He didn't really get out of play. He was underneath the arm for the shot. Smart play by him. But Nesbitt gets it straight back. So the ball knows, as we always say.
Comes round the corner. Excellent work from the wing defence. Lee just patiently waiting, places it beautifully. And the Aussies just able to stem the tide.
That's huge there. Like, if New Zealand had scored there, that would have been 4 in a row for them. And, unfortunately, just couldn't, that mid-third again.
Malasala, Tetomo. Hayden thought about an excellent ball fake. What a take. Clayton and Vivian collide. Risky. It looked risky, but Tetomo did fake to the side and got Clayton leaning.
True. As a coach, so I wouldn't be encouraging that pass.
Tahani, Nesbitt. Hill trying to disrupt, and she's going to get done for the offside call, Nesbitt.
She would have thought she got bumped there by the Kiwis, but didn't get the call. Oh, Clayton late on that. And that'll leave an easy 2-on-1. That's one thing, Aaron Clayton, if he goes out, he's got to get it, because otherwise it'll be just so easy in there.
We are back to 3 with 8:35 here in the second quarter. Tetomo. New Zealand on the march.
They've certainly worked out how to get it to the big man.
Now, is Pillier going to try and lay this one in? He's going to try and make the extra pass. He's going to get done for it.
Short pass. Yeah, it was too.
He set the position and tried to get it off. That's a coach killer.
Oh, it's almost like a break when you're on. It's your centre pass. Oh, this will hurt if this goes in.
Excellent jump from Tamaraki, though. Did well.
But again, Australia first there. Like, there was no, Now they get it back this time. Interesting to see the shooting stats at half time.
It's the keeper that's going to get done for an offensive contact.
Yep, interesting call that one, but 2-on-1 in the circle, and it's easy peasy for Australia. It's these little things that are just hurting the New Zealand side.
And maybe Tracy Jeans-Fraser just sensing something here, Millsy. Making the substitutions. The Kiwis responding in kind. Quentin Gerber goes into goalkeeper. Ben Hamer in for the Aussies. We are clarifying centre pass for Australia.
Oh, that's disappointing. That's your coach killer right there. So they reversed the penalty, but didn't give him time to get back. Oh, the no look. Oh, bit of showtime, buddy.
And yet he could have made the easy pass to Hill.
It was definitely on.
Swung the triangle and then put the position.
Safety first.
There he is. As you said, David Ben Hamer, Pat Pillier know each other in very, very well. both part of the New South Wales setup for many years. Te Tomo hit, Hope. Pellier waiting for the contact call, none coming.
So interesting to see how Gerber will go at keeper. He's obviously the second tallest person in the building. You reckon is he taller than 6'1"?
Very close. A side-by-side comparison. We are back to 2 with 6.5 to go. The Aussies had a fantastic first quarter, but they are going to be put under the microscope here. Contact call from Te Tomo. You can see Gerber now is going to try and cloud the vision.
Got him for a deliberate, so they've moved it in.
Germac's going to try and go over Gerber. That's no mean feat. A nice shot from the goal attack. You can just feel the intensity's gone up a level here, David.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some energy in the room today. So
almost got it, did Ben Hamer.
For a big man, Patrick can get off the ground, so they can put just a little bit more height on that. And I think the difference between the first quarter and the second quarter is the passing has been more accurate to Patrick.
Step off with the contact. They're going to go to Germac. At the moment, they're just getting lost on the switch, David. Germac's speed causing Quinton Gerber some problems.
Yeah, Gerber would be better off not playing on Germac, silly as that sounds, and just trying to put some pressure over the shot, use his height for that purpose, or go hunting as it's coming down. That'd be the two moves, because, well, let's be honest, Germac can probably beat anyone. So
Tomo again with the hit and hope. Hamer's tried to force him high.
He pushed him, and now he's pointing at the spot. But so margin 2, 5 to play. It's been a great second quarter.
Certainly has. Kiwis currently winning at 11-8. Here is Germac along the goal line. Going to give things back to Eugene Lee. Now they've got Bryce in the circle. Te Tomo, they will scream for a replay. None coming. Germac's going to back this up. A great drop pass. I wonder if they're going to draw the obstruction on Gerber. Yes.
Yeah, they did.
And the confidence from Germac as well to shoot that from mid-range.
Germac, when he gets, he's turning quickly and he's catching Gerber, you know, within the 3.
Te Tomo. Alasala. Got to be careful there not to get done.
Yeah.
There's a difference between demonstrating the contact is there and giving it away. Excellent backup from Pat Pellier.
It was. He got his hand on it and they'll get the throw in, but should the pass have come rather than the shot? That's the question.
Well, we've been maligning the Kiwis for pass selection to Pat Pellier, and Maya Hill, if she can start to sink them, will start to cause some doubt in the Aussie mind as well.
Maybe it's because they are double teaming Patrick at the moment, so maybe the thought process is that she could try and get one of them off her.
Almost a held ball there, Tahani using all 3 seconds. I'm sure if we ask Germac, he'd call that a pass. Gerber's going to have hit that shot on the way down.
So if he pass a shot, he's out of play. Oh, that just crept in.
You just wonder whether that may make Christina Bryce think the next time she's going to put that shot up, even though it was called as a goaltend. Te Tomo.
Again, this mid-court pressure by Australia, that's the key at the moment. That's what's winning it for them. That was a low one.
Excellent refeed there from Pellier, the big man showing off his skills.
That was beautiful. You commentated well before. You said, it's like a golf ball in his hands. It really was. So they're starting to put a bit of pressure on this pass coming back as well now, the New Zealanders.
And with Gerber there, it's just clouding the vision a little bit into the circle, not quite the easy access they had in the first quarter. Oh, what a jump from Gerber. No, he was a bit close. Ooh. For umpire Rachel Thomas's liking.
He must be getting close, like as in, to the correct distance, because he's adjusting every time. So if he can get that right, then it's a different scenario in that circle. Carter might have to come on at shooter.
Alasala there. It was Hill that drew the contact on Nesbitt. Do they go straight into into Pellier? Hamer's watching him closely. He's got the swat. Te Tomo's got it, though. Almost done there by the big fella. It's going to be long. Who's going to get to it first? It's going to be Vivian.
That was brilliant. She had no right getting that. Just use the speed.
Excellent work from the South Australian. The Aussies will look to punish with under 2 minutes here on the clock. Lee is going to have to go short. Gerber almost caught up with it. Great strength from Bryce. Straight on shot. Got it.
She took that shot before Gerber had a chance to get in front of her, so really smart play. That's a great turnover. Put that down to Vivian.
That brings the Aussie crowd into voice. They came at them, the Kiwis, to start this quarter. They've absorbed the pressure, and now they will look to push towards halftime. Lee goes to Germack. Oh, Lee almost too fast for it. It was contact, though, from Tetomo. Lee looking after it, appealing to the umpire. Riddle Pelchin's got it. New Zealand ball.
I think Lee thought he got the ball whacked out of his hands. And
Great
long
pass.
ball.
Tetomo.
It's a brave pass because that gave Hayman plenty of time to have a crack at it.
They've got 60 seconds here, New Zealand. And Tetomo's just going to go again. Express post.
Oh, we've got to be careful now. The big man, he could push back there and give away an offensive foul. Pillier.
45 seconds to go. Kiwis trying to apply the screws to the Aussies here as we head into halftime. Time's been held. Malasala is out of play. Nesbitt to Lee. An obstruction call from Tetomo will release some pressure. Germack on the front sweep.
Again, Gerber out of play. He needs to really stay in there because he can do, well, I was going to say that, but
Tetomo's got it. They've got 20 seconds to go length of the court. Gerber looking for options. Is going to have to go back. Held ball. Is the Aussies' execution good enough? They've got 11 seconds. Tahani, Germack, 8 seconds to the post. Inch perfect from Australia. Bryce to put the icing on the cake.
They got that wrong there, New Zealand. They had the big man out defending the pass in the mid-third. He should have been back, but anyway, it wasn't to be.
That is halftime in what has been a pulsating Game 2 in the mixed division of the Trans-Tasman Series. 26-29. It is Australia leading New Zealand. We will take a short break and be right back with what should be a thrilling second half. Game 2 of the Trans-Tasman Series mixed division between Australia and New Zealand. It's the Aussies currently leading by 3, but definitely some positive signs in that second quarter, David Mills, for New Zealand.
Absolutely. They won the quarter 15-13. Their ends are now strong. Gerber's come on at GK, so he's just given away a few little penalties in there. He needs to adjust that real quick. They're finding Patrick Pillier at the other end really easily now, which is great. They're just feeding it to the right spot. I said at quarter time they were feeding, his body was turned one way, they were throwing it the other. They're actually now reading where he is and throwing to that space, which is exactly what needs to happen. They're scoring quickly, like 15 and a quarter, and this level of netball is pretty good. So everyone's pretty, that's about right, but they need a few more. Like, they're still down by 3. They've had a great quarter and they only won up by 2, you know what I mean? So they need to push on here and definitely make every post a winner. For me, still they're mid-third. That's where the Aussies are dominating, particularly in defence. The Aussie defence in the mid-third is incredible, and it's making it so hard to get that ball into the front end of the New Zealand side. And as we speak, there's been another change at goalkeeper. They've gone back to their original goalkeeper in Tamaraki, and Gerber's gone to the bench. Obviously, there's a few too many obstructions in there, and coach has made the call. So
also, like, Jordan Higgy has come in at centre to maybe continue to try and feed Pat Pillier more effectively. He was a perfect 15 from 15 in the second quarter at 100%. We will continue here in quarter number 3.
It's important for Higgin to get started. Higgy just get started straight away, because if he takes a little while to get going, the lead could blow back out to 6.
First win of the evening for Ben Hamer. That one just dropping short, and the keeper is only too happy to oblige. Lee to Germack. Contact call there. I believe it is going to be on Higgy. Bit of miscommunication. Is Lee going to get to it? Yes, he will. Tosses it up. Great take from Christina Bryce.
Eugene Lee, that was incredible athleticism. That ball was out for all money. He still managed to keep it in, and that gets the goal for Queensland. For Queensland. She's had a blast there for Australia.
Nice we can put state rivalries aside for a little while, David. And
yeah, wearing a maroon shirt. I was thinking to myself, he's wearing a maroon shirt. That's what threw me.
Underneath is some sky blue. So Tahani swings things across to Lee. They're going to draw the contact on Tamaraki. It'll be back-to-back goals to start the quarter for the Aussies.
I'll tell you what, I've seen Christina Bryce play a fair bit over the last few years, and this is the best I've seen her. Tonight is an exceptional performance from her.
Lasala, extra pass to Hill. She's going to try and basically bowl a leg break around Eugene Lee. Alasala tries to go in. Hamer meets him at the top again.
Hamer's done well. He's got 2 in this quarter now. Oh, that's a forced ball in. Oh, it just got there.
It's like trying to move it through quicksand in this attacking end at the moment for New Zealand. Hill is going to let one go. And it's going to be a held ball.
That'll upset the Kiwis, because they were calling for the held balls in that second quarter, couldn't get one. And now one of theirs has been called fairly early. Oh, loose pass there from Nesbitt. So get another opportunity here, the New Zealand side. They desperately need this. It's out to 5 just in the blink of an eye.
And again, they can score in bunches, particularly if they can force some turnovers for the Aussies, but they will not want to have to climb a mountain in the fourth quarter. Hamer and Pillier will do the do-si-do. Hill with the pass. Pillier waiting for the bump. A smart refeed so he didn't get done for the held ball.
Yeah, it's getting willing in there. Hamer is really putting his body on the line on Pillier.
It's another contact call on Tamaraki.
Yeah, he's too expensive today. He was quite clean in the first test, but tonight he's been very expensive.
Is he going to hang out on the rim?
Again, no. See, it was a contact. You could see it all day. He pushed him 3 or 4 times, and the umpire did the right thing, waited for the shot, and away he goes.
It'll be Germack on his second attempt.
This is the thing. Like, there was a missed shot there. Should have had a rebound. Instead, he's giving away a very cheap, unnecessary penalty. Oh, that's a short pass.
Malasala being watched very closely by Nes, but that time a cleaner centre for the New Zealanders. You can see Germack pointing back, so Nesbitt comes forward, and they're going to look to elicit some second phase from Germack. Tani screaming for it.
Bryce just absolutely pushed Tamaraki there. 2 hands on him and no call.
Kiwis get the ball nonetheless. Riddle Pelchin. This is Riley Huaki, who has come back on in this second half. She wants to get on with things. This is Malasala. You can see Nesbitt and Vivian just continuing to sit deep and off the body. They're waiting for that long ball into the pocket. Excellent give and go there from Malasala. Hamer will dare Hill to shoot this. An excellent bit of playmaking from the goal attack. Back-to-back goals for the Kiwis.
3 straight. If they can get this would be make it back to 2. Oh.
Higgy, Hill. Just waiting for the extra pass again. Great pass that time. Pass right into the open space here. It was double defended, but the pass was superb.
That's what we were talking about earlier. We just got to read his body. His body's very clear where he wants the ball, so just make sure you're throwing it that area. He's going to get it 90% of the time.
Tahani. Germac's going to do the crab crawl. This to snap a 3-goal New Zealand run.
It's called the Millsy Shuffle, buddy. Crab crawl, please.
Oh, Nesbitt first.
Nesbitt, brilliant.
She's
replay.
Gonna get done for playing the ball on the ground, I believe.
Ooh. What do you reckon?
Threw her body at it.
She did indeed.
Malasala. Hill. Pillier. Was it a step?
Yeah,
yes, it was.
He knows it too. Again, they just can't get this down to 2. They get it to 3 quite regularly, but they can't get it to 2.
I think the other thing that Hamer's doing with his body is he's not only trying to restrict Pillier's movement, he's trying to remove his balance as well.
Absolutely.
He doesn't look steady taking that ball in the air. Lee tries to wrap the ball around. Germac's going to be done for the contact there, though. He tried to pin Riddle Pelchin unsuccessfully. Riley Huaki.
Look at this zone immediately. Australian straight in. They're very disciplined on that, which is great.
Riddle Pelchin hits the deck.
That's going nowhere. There's a player right in front of him.
Decision-making hurting the Kiwis at the moment.
I don't know how much longer they can stay with Tamaraki because he's just being very expensive today.
Be a contact call from Tahani. They're trying to set the screen. What a jump from Nathan Germack. And now he's going to get a talking to here, Tamaraki.
Yeah.
Being told to tidy up things here.
I see Gerber's warming up, so maybe the change is coming, and it probably has to. Even though Gerber gave away a few obstructions, that can be adjusted to. It seems like Tamaraki might have lost his head a little bit here at the moment.
Nesbitt. Tahani. Just continuing to zip this ball around circle edge. They're waiting for the opportune moment.
Perfect. Again, perfect play. They used the triangle. Germach just popped up the top there, and it was just perfect, Germach, sorry.
Deficit got back to 2. It's now back out to 5.
That was a quick goal. It took about 4 seconds, that one.
And that is something that will keep the Kiwis in the game all night long. And now Germac's going to be done for delay. Umpire Zach Middleton telling Nathan Germack exactly what he did.
Nice play. That was smart there. Hill came in as goal attack. No goal. Push off. Well, there you go. The issue over that is, like, it looks no different to every other call that's gone down that way. You know what I mean? So I can't see what the difference is.
Contact call there from Higgy will release the pressure to Eugene Lee. And Germack has the range to put this in. He's going to go over Riddle Pelchin. Great confidence from the Australian. They've scored 3 of the last 4, and Hamer's got another one.
Too easy for Hamer.
Excellent work.
New Zealand's starting to run out of a little bit of legs here.
We're only halfway through the third quarter. Bryce with the extra pass. Every time the Aussies have threatened to blow the game open so far, the Kiwis have been able to surge. Do they have another one in them here?
It's danger. It's out to 6.
Tamaraki. That time was better. No, says the umpire.
Too close. He was in good positioning, but he just crept in on the lean and then with the jump, it was just too close. And what we've said it 40 times in this commentary, don't give Australia another second chance in the circle. Changes are plenty now.
Some substitutions here are coming. So I believe that is Tulka coming on at wing attack. Quinton Gerber goes into keeper. Tetomo in at centre. They are fighting to keep the series alive here in New Zealand. And they will have to man their battle stations with 6 minutes to go. Deficit at 7. Here is Tulka. Just waiting for the pass. It looks like Malasala's also stepped in to goal attack. Is she going to bomb it? She will. Bang!
It's risky play. Like, you know, Patrick was there twice and they didn't throw it to him. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to throw down in the defensive mind, but they're just going to sit back on Patrick and hope that the shots will start missing.
Little Pelchin hits the deck. Quinton Gerber has to stay straight here so he doesn't give away the call. Germack rolls one in. Malasala airs it out. Is it too long? There was a beautiful tip there from Hamer. Tetomo's got it. Malasala. Will she put a second one in? Nope. Off the rim. That is the other side of the coin there, though, Mills, is that you do have a big rebounding presence in Pat Pillier.
Yeah, but providing he's in the right position, you know, like that shot, he got there. He wasn't when the shot was released, but he got to the ball. So it's just risky. Like, stick with what you know.
They just beat Gerber to the position there, did the Australians. Able to neutralise his height. It was off the post, so a pass only. They're going to have to continue bouncing this ball into the circuit. You can see Tahani gesturing to Vivian and Nez, but just wanting them up on the transverse line in case they need to go back.
And the Kiwis don't respond, so if it has to go back, it's going to be a very easy outlet.
Little Pelchin just giving away the contact there. Gerber is going to continue to try and do the dance on Bryce. They're going to be able to swing things across here to Gomek. They've played the switch. Now they're going back to Lee. This is better defence from the Kiwis. Again, they go across the circle. The pressure builds. It is released by Quinton Gerber.
He kept following the ball and you know, eventually he obstructed the wrong one.
They've been doing the dance. New Zealand in that circle. Their footwork has certainly improved, but the Aussies so far equal to the task.
Absolutely. Like, you know, that was much better defensive pressure, and in the end, they'll get the ball eventually. So that took about a minute and a half off the clock, though, so that was great defense there.
Contact call from Eugene Lee. 3.5 to go here in the third. Is this the time for another New Zealand surge?
Nope. There's a contact there, but not called.
Tulka trying to take that through 3 Australian players. It was always going to be tough. Riley Huaki with the contact. Nesbitt, beautiful give and go there from Eugene Lee. They've had to work hard for this one, the Aussies, but it is going to go around the rim and drop.
Shermack was beautiful there. He positioned himself, switched feet, got himself another metre closer just by that simple split.
They're just inching away at the moment. Deficit was 3 at halftime. It is out to 7 here in the third. Tetomo. Short to Tulka. Lee being done with the contact call. They're going to go short to Malasala. They will. Vivian tries to come around the corner.
Oh, that's risky, isn't it? Just around the corner pass. It got there, but a hand, like, that's the easiest part to defend, and particularly on the big man. Just stick your hand in there. You might get a fingernail on it.
Mac. Heavy collision. Nathan Germack can jump very high, but even that pass was over his head.
Shaquille O'Neal wouldn't have got that one. But again, here to get the Aussies. Look at this high zone. Starts with Christina Bryce putting pressure on. They're nearly through it. They go long, and it got there. But it's everywhere.
Spectacular play, if a little risky. Malasala's going to let it go. No, excellent patience from the goal attack. Back-to-back goals again for New Zealand.
Comedy of errors that, wasn't it? And a break. Oh, my goodness. They're on a run. They're on a comeback, and they break. Oh, that hurts. That's the ultimate pressure valve reliever.
Gurmak, Tahani, Riddle Pelchin was trying to get close to Lee, and she extracts the held ball. Riley Huaki. Tetomo. Riley Huaki has to go back again to Gerber. 90 seconds on the clock here before three-quarter time. Here is Tetomo again. They're going to be patient. A bounce pass. We haven't seen one of those all game. Malasala's going to let it go. No. An excellent refeed. Gets a little closer to put the finishing touches on the sequence. Hamer bounces around. The ball bounce out before Pillier puts it down. 3 in a row here for the Kiwis. Under 60 seconds on the clock.
Back to 4 and a break for Australia this time.
It's all happening here at the AIS. Riddle Pelchin. Tulka.
Nowhere to go. Has to go all the way back.
Gerber almost stuck for options. Riley Huaki, 40 seconds left before three-quarter time. Tetomo. Here is Tetomo again. Malasala, are they going to launch it in? They sure will. Ben Hamer with the positioning. He was inch perfect, the goalkeeper. A tip from Pillier. 25 seconds left. This ball pinballing around the attacking third for New Zealand. Tetomo, Malasala, they had the side hold just past the fingertips of Hamer. Eventually it opens up and Pillier is going to put the icing on the cake. They've got 10 seconds to reel off one more. You know it's going to go in. Malasala, here it goes. Pillier from range.
Wow, boy, oh boy, they've come from nowhere to get it back to 2.
New Zealand score the last 5. 38 plays 40 in favour of Australia. What a sequence. Three-quarter time gives us a chance to take a breath, get set for the final quarter, and welcome in a special guest, Draven Litarua from the Aussie Kelpies. Draven, good evening to you.
Good evening, how's it going? 2
wins from 2 starts so far for the Kelpies. You've got to be happy with the performance you put in across the ditch.
Yeah, it's been really solid, and obviously to do it on enemy territory as well is huge. I'm happy to be back on Aussie soil and looking forward to playing tomorrow in front of, a local crowd.
As well. The Aussie Kelpies, such a high standard of netball set with 2 comfortable wins. How do you maintain that level of discipline and ensure that your standards remain where you want them to be in Game 3?
Yeah, we have KPIs that we want to be hitting, and there's definitely room for improvement across the board. I think there's always things you need to work on, and it's about setting a brand of netball as well that we can be proud of across the 60 minutes. So probably looking for a bit more consistency.
You've been a part of this Kelpies product as it's grown over the last 2 and 3 years now with televised matches in both Australia and New Zealand, playing an invitational against England last year, bringing them into the fold. How have you seen the growth of Australian men's netball when you've been at the very top?
Yeah, it's been amazing, and I think we've been so well embraced by Netball Australia itself. Even getting to be here today and welcoming our under-23s and mixed teams as well as the New Zealand teams into the AIS, which is, a sacred ground for Australian athletes. We're really proud to be able to bring them in here, and I think every year it's getting bigger and bigger, so look out for the future.
You, of course, call Perth home now in Western Australia. Of course, do have some connections from across the Tasman as well. Looking at this mixed game that's going on here, just to the difference, what do you think is going to decide this fourth quarter?
Yeah, it's been a great game to start, and I think Ben Hamer and goalkeeper against a big unit and Pat Pillier has been a great battle so far, and I think that's really where it's going to come down to. If New Zealand can access Pat or if Ben can shut him down, I think that's what's going to decide the fate of this game.
Draven Litarua, thank you so much for your time. You will see the Kelpies taking on the Net Blacks at the conclusion of our series of games tomorrow here at the AIS in Canberra. That will kick off at 7:30 following the 23s and the mixed game. We are just about to get started here again in the fourth quarter as Draven Litarua steps out. David Mills will step back in. Millsy, it looked like the Aussies were going to blow that game open there halfway through the third. New Zealand caught lightning at a bottle in the last 5 minutes.
It certainly did. It got out to 7. It looked like it was just going to blow away. I think I said danger signs here for the Kiwis, but somehow it wasn't pretty, but they got there. If they could they're throwing the pass from very low down too. They've got to get the arms up and into Patrick, make it even easier for him. But yeah, he came into his own there. I saw Patrick a little bit of defensive pressure as well. If he could do a bit of that, they might get enough ball. It's only 2. They've won the second and the third quarters now, and let's just see what happens in the last.
It's prompted a change from the Australian Brains Trust. Eugene Lee stepping into goal attack. Caleb Barton coming in to centre.
Fresh legs out there.
The Kiwis are unchanged. We are all set here. This is going to be a brilliant final quarter. Strap in.
They don't. The Kiwis don't start the quarters well. They just need to really start this one. Like get their first centre pass, get their first goal. You know that's important.
Well, they're going to start with a contact called here on Riley Huaki. Oh, Pelchin could have had a go at that if she saw it. Lee on the front sweep. Oh, Gerber collides with Christina Bryson. An interesting decision here to let Eugene Lee maybe, David, just get the first one in with a defender out of play, just to see the first one go through the net.
Absolutely. Like this is what happened in the first test. He came on, he hit 10 out of 11 in the first game for 91%. So if he can get the blood flowing in the shooting arm, it'll help him long term.
Emily Nesbitt just a little keen off the line there. Tahani now with the obstruction. They go into Pillier. A great pass from Riley Huaki.
The worry is that New Zealand, as they're playing catch-up netball, because they've been behind for a long time now, that they will start even forcing more balls in, and that's when Australia could get an occasional intercept and stuff. Like Ben Heyman needs to be on his toes. He'll probably get some ball in this quarter through the forced pass.
New Zealand trying to put the Aussies in a vice grip here. Tahani. Lee. Looking for options, has to go across to Barton. They now do the switch. Pelchin. Riddle Pelchin was almost back there. And then just the discipline costing New Zealand.
Look, he's getting a massive amount of height there, Gerber, but he just keeps taking off from too close. You know, if he got his distance first, he could probably get his hands over a couple of these balls.
Contact call, I believe that is against Nesbitt, yes. There is Tulka. There is Malasala going into Pillier again. There's a tip from Ben Hamer, and they're going to give it to the Australians.
Well, we say the ball knows, so we'll see what happens here.
Vivian Barton.
Very fortunate call there for the Aussies.
Nesbitt's going to go over the goal line, tries to get it back. Is Pillier going to tip it? No, he's going to contact Ben Hamer. Vivian with a wry smile. Tahani. Bisects Tetomo and Riley Huaki. Excellent double dodge there from Barton. Lee. Is able to just back things all the way to the post. Back-to-back goals for the Aussies.
So this is what we talked about. They're slow starters in the quarter. So we're down to the last 12-14 to go. They needed to, make every post a winner at the start of this quarter, so they could put some pressure on late.
Tahani. Barton. The back half of that quarter, Riddle Pelchin and Gerber started to get their feet in that circle. They've forced a long ball here.
Yeah, Barton just wasn't in the right position there. He just turned and looked without, sighting the shooter first.
Tetomo is able to go short to Gerber. Just happy to bounce this one around. Here is Riddle Pelchin. Tulka. Every pass, they're just sighting the big target up front, but they weren't looking at Eugene Lee.
The little target in the middle. So Eugene did well.
Lee's going to try and go over Gerber. That's 3 in a row for the Aussies. Malasala. Tulka. Excellent give and go there from Tetomo. Waited for circle edge. Here is Malasala again. You can see them trying to navigate. What a shot as well from the New Zealand goal attack.
It was a lovely shot, but again, it's low percentage netball. The big man was there. Even though he's double teamed, he's positioned himself well that he could get the ball. So I just hope it doesn't come back to hurt them late.
Bryce there with the hold. If Gerber can back this up, they went to the extra pass for Lee. Who's got it first? It's Riddle Pelchin.
Yes, that was smart play by Gerber because he got his 4 feet, didn't contest the ball, just waited to see what happened. He needs to do more of that if the Kiwis have any chance.
Tulka. Tetomo.
Look at this Aussie defense pressure. It is incredible. They are everywhere.
Tetomo almost a held ball.
They'll throw it this time.
Malasala. Excellent open up there from Tulka. They're going to wait for the open up. There it is. That was really smart from New Zealand.
And lucky in the end. And Patrick knows it too. So this will get it back to 3 if it goes in. What are your thoughts, Sam? Are they going to do it, the Kiwis?
Well, time's been held. We've got a substitution here. Looks like Tamaraki's going to come back on again.
He needs to be better than what he has been so far in this match. If he starts giving one of those cheap fouls, I need to hook him straight away.
Lee coming through on Tetomo. 3 the difference with 9:51. There is Riley Huaki. Goes straight on with it. No, I believe they're going to call this.
They've advanced it on Lee for deliberate contact.
And eventually now they go to Pillier. This is as close as the Kiwis have been this game. To the margin.
Still plenty of fire on the Australian bench that we haven't seen. Fitzgerald, Janor.
Tamaraki comes through.
That's better.
Some coaching from the New Zealand Brains Trust. He's come straight on and pulled an intercept.
Much better.
If they score this centre New Zealand, they'll have it to tie the game. Riddle Pelchin, Tulka. Masala. Masala short again. Waits for Vivian to come off.
Oh. They've called obstruction on the top of the circle when they had it under the ring. Well,
excellent pass. Takes the hit.
To the margin. They're back here again.
They've scored the last 4, the Kiwis. The overload's coming. Here it is to Riley Huaki. Gets on to Tetomo. Malasala looking for her big goal shooter. Tetomo thought about it. No. Riley Huaki.
Got to be patient. Got to be patient. That
excellent
is it. Brilliant.
Pass from Riddle Pelchin. Draws the obstruction. Hamer's trying to keep him high. But Vivian there with the call. Now Pillier can get on the side. Malasala can lead him to post. It's going to be an obstruction call. Pillier leads it in. We are all locked up at 44. 8:15 on the clock here in Game 2 of the Trans-Tasman Series in the mixed division.
Boom, Shagalago, we're tied.
Barden to Lee. Tamaraki came out again. That time he was a step too slow.
Now he's out of play outside the circle. 2-on-1.
What has Riddle Pelchin got left? An excellent screen by Lee. Bryce stops on the rim.
Looked like he was sailing over the back, got the shooter's roll.
Tetomo. Now it becomes a game of execution for both sides. Well, Vivian came flying through. There's going to be a 2-on-1 in the circle. Are they quick enough to utilise it? No. Riddle Pelchin. Riley Huaki, what a ball. Saw both defenders were on the other side of Pat Pillier, placed it perfectly.
Great pass, under pressure. And here they go, the New Zealanders putting the pressure on here. If they can get a turnover here, this place will go nuts.
Barden swings things across to Lee. They have to go back to Nesbitt, off the ankle. Vivian's got a hold of it. Lee directing traffic. Barden top circle. Now he gets in the circle. A hand from Riddle Pelchin. Has she got it? There's a game of basketball. Contact called to New Zealand.
Biggest goal of the game coming up, my friend. This is huge.
Lorigen, I believe that is Ella Fitzgerald, who is ready on the Australian bench.
I think that's Lane. Lane's coming on.
That is Lane. They need to stem the tide here, the Aussies. They've started to solve this puzzle, the Kiwis. Malasala with the pass or shot here. Bang! New Zealand take the lead for the first time since the first quarter. Here is the sub.
And I think Carter might be coming on as well. There's changes are plenty coming on here.
They're calling for it. They're going to try Lockie Carter in at goal attack. Eugene Lee is going to go to centre.
Well, Carter was great at goal attack in the first game. He hit 13 from 13 when he was out there. So this is massive. Kiwis got the lead for the first time since 2-0, wasn't it? That was the last time they led it 2-0. You
can hear the Australians trying to pump up their shooter here, Lockie Carter.
Got a knee injury, we know that. How bad it'll affect him, we will soon find out.
Riley Huaki. Tetomo. Now it goes again to Malasala. Tulka goes in. Great tip from Pillier. Draws the obstruction on Vivian for their first 2-goal lead of the game.
Vivian, smart play by her. She just stood in the way there. That gave Hamer time to set. But the noise you hear is coming from the Kiwi fans because they lead it by 2.
Vivian goes to Lane with her first touch. Now Lee. All of a sudden, the well's dried up for the Australians. Bryce on the front sweep. Carter's now going to go with the hold into the big fella. The layup. It's long. Tamaraki with the rebound. It brings the New Zealand bench to their feet. A heavy collision between Riddle Pelchin and Lee.
Frustration by Eugene Lee there.
Riley Huaki. Tetomo.
5 minutes. They're being very cautious with the ball.
Tetomo again. The Aussies trying to apply the blowtorch.
Footwork call. Oh, that is massive. That's a massive call under the circumstances.
Lane goes to Bryce, swings things across to Lee. They're trying to get Bryce on the move here. Goes over the top to Carter. Short pass to break a 7-goal run. Hangs it on the rim. Tetomo gets to it first, and he will draw the contact. When it rains, it pours for the New Zealanders. Talca.
Is this the same Tabaraki we saw for the first 3 quarters he's come out? He's been brilliant since he's come back on.
Malasala, Riddle Pelchin. Very happy to be conservative with the ball now, New Zealand. Now Tetomo goes into Pillier. Brilliant from the New Zealanders.
The Kiwis were just passing it to each other, and they were playing like still in the zone defense. When they're playing that sort of possession netball, you've got to be body on body.
They have scored 9 of the last 10. Malasala. Wali Huaki, Tetomo. They're just waiting for Malasala. They offload the pass. Vivian trying to get around the corner. Now Hamer will try and force a shot. Malasala has hit a couple this quarter. She's going to let it go. No. Goes to the tip pass.
Smart play by Malasala. And that puts it out by 4. What a quarter this has been.
What do the Aussies have in response here? This is the first time they have really been tested this Trans-Tasman series.
11-5 quarter so far.
Carter. Goes to Lee. Carter on the front sweep. Going to try and back things up.
Off the post.
First one was no good. Second one was.
The pass off the post, that is risky business.
It's a breaking call. Now the Australian discipline starting to fall apart. They just need to take a breath here, the Aussies. 1 turnover. They can bring this right back. Malasala swings things back to Riddle Pelchin. Now Tetomo.
Of course, the last 2 in New Zealand, 2 games went to overtime. Are we seeing a third in 4?
Talca thought about it. Now goes into Pillier. Perfectly weighted pass to bring up 50 goals. We are under 2.5 minutes. Lane. Bryce. It's just Carter who's going to send things back to Lee. He's got the hold there on Tamaraki. Now Bryce again. That's a long way from home for her, though. All of this is sucking valuable time.
Put pressure on the pass, the Kiwis.
They're continuing to bounce this ball around. They want to keep the hold high. Tamaraki does it again. Carter struggling with strength. Off the post, crafty work.
Obviously, they think that's a replay of the New Zealand bench, but it's not really. I think that's perfectly legal.
Riley Huaki, Riddle Pelchin, do they start to try and waste some time here?
Well, they are, and Australia aren't manning up. The only way they're going to get the ball is by manning up here. If they keep throwing this ball backwards.
Tetomo, a contact on Vivian.
They didn't want that.
They wanted that ball.
Absolutely.
A Malasala. We've got 90 seconds on the clock. This one might throw the dagger. What a shot.
That's massive.
Amarangi Malasala.
I would have put $1 million because she was going to pass off on that occasion.
May have just taken this series to Saturday night. Bryce to Lee. They've got 75 seconds to score 4 goals. Carter again is going to roll this one in. They've got to keep pushing here, the Aussies.
They must stop this one.
A breaking call isn't going to help them again. New Zealand will take all the time in the world here. Tetomo. Malasala just waits for the obstruction to be shown to seal the deal.
That is it, my friends. Woo, we got us the cider tomorrow.
There is 30 seconds remaining. The Kiwis sit on a 4-goal lead. And a turnover to put the icing on the cake. They were down 5 at quarter time. They've turned it around by 9 goals in the last 3 quarters. And after losing game 1 by 8 goals, Pillier trying to finish things off with a flourish. They take the second test, 53-48. We will see you back here Saturday night for the decider.
15-8 last quarter, Sam. They were magnificent, and a bloke I've been critical of for the entire match, Tamaraki, he had a massive last 7 or 8 minutes there. He came over, he put pressure on Carter. Carter was reluctant to take the shot. He got a couple of intercepts. That was a bit of a turning point. You know, we were both looking at each other, why would you make that change? And, we don't know anything, do we?
Whatever Tanya Anderson said,
yes,
seems to have done the trick. Outstanding work.
Absolutely.
I think the other player that deserves a lot of credit, Amarangi Malasala, huge in
game.
that second half. Knew when to pass, put in some big shots as well.
Yeah.
And did plenty of work out the front.
Absolutely. She was the sort of the link between the mid and the goal shooter. She was really running the offense, telling people where to go, etc., etc. And let's not forget Ted Tomo. He came on a couple of times, and every time he came on, a little bit more energy in that mid-third, and that just made it a little bit easier. And the feeds into Patrick Pillier were superb.
If you are the Aussies, are you miles away, or is it just a couple of little tweaks and you can be right back in this series?
Momentum's a funny thing, and 3 games, you like to win it in 2. Now they've got to go back to the drawing board. Like at the end of the first test, they would have been full of confidence. They really dominated from the get-go to the finish. And now they've got to have a rethink about things. They'll probably focus on Patrick Pillier a lot, and really that's not what it's about. You've got to think of what the other guys can do. Like, he's going to score his 50, 60 goals. You know that. It's what you do with the other time on court and the other positions. So it's set it up for a great day, though.
This sets the table for a Super Saturday here at the AIS. At 3:30 p.m, it will be the decider of the Mixed Opens game. 5:30, we'll see the under-23s take to the court. And then at 7:30 Saturday night, the Australian Kelpies against the New Zealand Net Blacks to cap off what has been a fabulous week of netball so far down here in Canberra. A fascinating game too, taken by New Zealand, 53 goals to 48. For David Mills, I'm Sam Glazebrook. We will see you back here at 3:30 tomorrow.